When the police arrived, they found the man hog-tied and totally naked at the back of the boat. As always, Epstein is just pulling the strings behind the scene. But tell me why Cecile DeJohn, the first lady of the US Virgin Islands, is the witness to the sale. Remember the woman I showed you was running Epstein's island? I'm going to quickly recap the key points. In the previous video, I went through the emails and the documentation in detail, but for now, I'll keep it focused because there's a bigger update. She has just been arrested, and not for what you would expect. Her name is Anne, also known as Anna Rodriguez. For nearly 2 decades, she wasn't just an employee. She was the island manager, the person everyone reported to, Epstein's most trusted staff member. She had access to everything. The cabanas, the tunnels, even the master bedroom, across both Little St. James and Great St. James. She was trusted enough to be given the combination to Epstein's black box. And this wasn't just a job. She lived on the island full-time for nearly 20 years, with her 2 daughters. And so it turns out she has still been living on the island, managing it nearly 7 years after Epstein's alleged self-deletion. At the end of this video, I'll put a card linking back to my initial investigation on Anne Rodriguez, but for now, this is sufficient background information. Now for this update, let's get started with the arrest records. You might be thinking to yourself, surely she got arrested for her involvement with an international, multi-decade child ... ring. But what she actually got arrested for is false imprisonment and kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon, and destruction of property. How the hell did she manage to do that? Well, according to the probable cause fact sheet, on March 1st, 2026, 2 brothers in the name of Eloy and Marcel Gil Sancho rented 2 jet skis and went to the island to film a documentary related to Little St. James. They wanted to record some footage of the island using a drone, but due to bad weather, the drone landed on the island. So Marcel swam to the island to retrieve the drone. And while they were leaving the area, a boat began pursuing them. They got split up, and the boat got caught up with Marcel. And Rodriguez starts pointing a gun that looks like a Glock at Marcel and starts yelling at him, "I will kill you." Anne, in all her wisdom, ordered Marcel to jump on the boat. She ordered him to kneel and place his hands behind his head. At this point, Eloy is like, "I am getting the out of here," to get some help. So Anne and 2 other men on the boat, likely employees of the island, are keeping Marcel against his will with a gun, which we later find out is actually a BB gun that looks like a Glock and doesn't have any of the safety and markings that would signify that it's a BB gun rather than a real gun. Anne takes the memory card out of the drone and throws it in the ocean. Once the police arrive, she admits that she pointed the gun at the guy, told him to get on the boat, and then transported him back to the island. When the police arrived, they found the man hog-tied and totally naked at the back of the boat. The male victim had been stripped and restrained on the boat, and luckily for the other brother going and seeking help from the police, this is as far as it got. Well, that's a speed run on catching 3 felonies if I've ever seen one. Either Anne is the most dedicated employee I've ever seen, or she is protecting this island as if it's her home, because it is. Now, it's not her only home, and things only get weirder from here on out. Before we proceed, if you enjoy digging through the public catacombs we call the internet, please subscribe. And now back to the video. Lucky for us, in a notice of filing of contact information, we actually get the second address for Anne Rodriguez. And there is a footnote here that clarifies while the defendant has a home at the Smith Bay address, as a part of her employment, she resides generally on Little St. James. You already know what your girl did. I went to Google Mapsing, and I was severely disappointed in how I did not get a result from the address on Google Maps. You think that's gonna stop me? No. So I kept on Googling, and the same business kept on popping up over and over again at this address. It's an Italian restaurant and art gallery called Romano's. And from an article written on the owner of Romano's, Tony Romano, the chef, we find out that the restaurant opened in 1988 and it was operational until it closed in October of 2012. This article was written in 2013. He says he closed it last October. So it was open for 24 years until 2012. Now, even though the restaurant has been closed for over a decade, there's still crumbs left on the catacombs we call the internet, where we have a listing for the restaurant with the exact latitude and longitude of the location of the restaurant, along with a link to Google Maps showing the location of the restaurant. As you can see, it's on Smith Bay Road here. And it's right in this general area here. It looks like it's this building. Now, unfortunately, if you go on the street view, you cannot see anything, right? So if we go down here, it's supposed to be down this road, but there's a giant tree blocking it. And if you go past a little in the other direction, you can see the buildings here, but not much other than that for sale sign. But that's okay, because every state in America has a public land record ownership search and usually a GIS map that goes along with it. And in order to be able to investigate further, all I needed to know was the exact location on a map. But first, we can go to the US Virgin Islands recorder of deeds, whatever, for public records. And if we search this 6697 Smith Bay address in the public records, we get nothing. Luckily, there's a name search, and we'll try Anna Rodriguez. Nothing. I know sometimes you need to write it backwards, last name first, and boom, we got 2 records for a Smith Bay address, parcel 97. Okay, so I guess that 66 in the front doesn't matter for record lookup. Let's see what we got. 2017 first. Let's expand that out for you guys. All right, there we go. I'll squeeze to the side of the screen a little bit. We got a sale from people that previously owned the lot to Ann Rodriguez for a total sum of $300,000, parcel 97, estate Smith Bay. We know that the sale went through on February of 2017, but more importantly, we got the official parcel number from this. Because even on the GIS, if I search the actual address provided, I get nothing. But if I search the parcel number, we got a result. And Google Maps had thrown us right around here somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was this building or this one. I know these are markets. It looks like it's this one back here that had a for sale sign on it on Google Maps. We got the property ID and we got the new ownership, which we will shortly come back to. First, I want to discuss where the funds for this home came from. Would you like to take a guess? If you guessed Epstein, you would be correct. There's a trove of information in the files regarding the purchase of the 97 Smith Bay estate. In this email, Richard Kahn, Epstein's finance guy, mentions that he has the $280,000 escrow for closing in the sales agent's account and is asking Epstein, since the house is closing tomorrow, should she be present for the closing or just pick up the keys? And Epstein says, just pick up the keys. Here, Anna's letting Epstein know that she has to run to the bank to update the check amount for the down payment. And would you believe it? Epstein is even involved in the price negotiation phase. In this particular email, Anne says, oh, there's too much repairs to do. I don't want to pay the $326,000. I'll pay $300,000. No finance necessary. I wonder where she's getting $300,000 no finance in cash. We're back to the bank of Epstein. The realtor says, no, the seller wants to stand firm at $326 and says, okay, what other properties do you have? And Epstein responds to that forwarding saying, Anna, when I send an email to be forwarded, do not add anything. Ever. My guess is he told her what to tell the realtor to negotiate the price, and Anna did that and then added some embellishments to it, and Epstein was not happy about that. And about 2 weeks later, after the holiday season, the realtor responds saying, okay, I guess we'll take $300,000. Anna forwards it to Epstein, who says, right on schedule, do it. And Anne responds with a bunch of smiley faces, XOXO, gossip girl, heart. So it seems to me like, as always, Epstein is just pulling the strings behind the scene. It's Anna's house, but Epstein is doing the financing and giving her the instructions to be there at the closing or to pick up the keys and how much to pay for it and how to negotiate. But the purchase of the home isn't where Epstein's involvement ends. You see, he might be a complete piece of shit garbage, filth of the earth in regards to children, but he knows how to take care of the employee who runs his island. In this email, Anna's sending assigning Epstein a long list of things that are still messed up and needs to be fixed with the house he basically just bought for her. And Epstein says, get me non-employee contractor prices to fix all this, thanks. And she says she will. This email gets a little messy. Basically, Anne's backyard fence needs to be fixed, so of course she comes to the Bank of Epstein asking for the cost of fixing the fence to be paid. But Richard Kahn, Epstein's finance guy, is scrutinizing things a little bit because she suggested one price at first and now it like tripled, and she's also using people that she knows to do the work and they're getting paid for it. She gets a little offended, saying, going forward, I will not use any more helpers or laborers that I know. I will contract the work to professional companies only. I never get clear understanding from anyone, and I'm tired of guessing what's right from what's wrong. Yeah, clearly she has a hard time figuring out what's right from what's wrong, because she lived on that island full-time for nearly 2 decades, and it never occurred to her to report Epstein. I guess when he pays your salary and your kids' tuition and buys you a house, it gets a little easier to bury your head in the sand. According to this email, she's even using other Epstein Island employees to get some of this work done. Here we see Sylvester and Boniface, who also come up on the organizational chart for Jeffrey Epstein's island employees. Now, there's one more name here, just keep it in mind for the future because it's gonna come up again. Ahmad or Ahmad, I don't know how to pronounce it, the helper for Boniface. We got Epstein telling his finance guy to make sure Anna gets $10,000 to start buying some furniture. How generous of him. I mean, this all goes hand in hand with the stuff we discovered in the last video. It would almost be sweet, a rich guy really going above and beyond to take care of his employees, if the rich guy we are talking about wasn't Epstein. When he gets involved, the word sweet just kind of flies out of the room. And Anne is just constantly emailing Epstein with pictures of the work that's being done in the house. Oh, the cisterns are complete. Thank you so much. Oh, the flooring has been removed. The rooms have been repainted. It's starting to look so good. Thank you so much, Epstein. Oh, the kitchen cabinets. It's starting to look so good. OMG, this is so awesome. All right, so Epstein financed the whole house. He paid all the repair costs, and he paid the cost to furnish it. But that's not even the weirdest part. She purchased this house in 2017. All this money went into it, but according to the records, she turned around and sold it in 2018. Maybe you're thinking, okay, Anne is starting her house flipping journey. So guess how much she sold it for? Did you guess $10? Because that's how much she sold it for. She bought it for $300,000 and a year later sold it for $10. And interestingly, at the bottom of the public records for the sale of the home, in handwriting it is noted, for recording purposes, the value of the property is $256,000. So then why the hell is it getting sold for $10? It's been sold to a company called America Natal LLC.
I wanted to air this because I got sent this and I saw this and I watched most of it. I didn't see it all this morning. It's like 30 minutes long, but I watched part of it. And the guy's saying he's criticizing me because you do that, you don't get banned by the algorithm. And he's just one surfer coming on the waves we created. So he pretty much gets it. I thought it was entertaining and informative. He's also got a pretty ridiculous name, Extra Chill Goblin. We always like goblin jokes. I don't know why. I made goblin jokes years ago that became super viral, so whatever. Yeah, we'll air that. So here's Extra Chill Goblin, and then Harrison Smith takes over. Here it is. Extra Chill Goblin. He pretty much gets it. Dirty. He's also got a pretty ridiculous name. Extra Chill Goblin Vomit, Slop, and Blood. I thought it was entertaining and informative. He's got a goblin guide charging into a goblin's nest. I don't want to see him kissing goblins. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. Literal pot-belly goblins are hobbling around coming after us. Extra chill goblin.
Hey, it's the Extra Chill Goblin time. It's the Extra Chill Goblin time, and you're right on time for the time. And that's what time it is, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. What's up? How's it going? I'm all right. I'm a little hungover. Maybe you can tell because my voice sounds cool. But happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and to everyone out there who has a mother. I hope you send her a text or something at least. That's that's my hope for you all. Gang, lots of talk in the chat over here. I'm not even sure what people are talking about. Charging into a goblin's nest, the goblinist generation. The goblin generation. That's cool. Blue arrow. Oh no! Wait, what? Why is it doing this? Okay, one sec. I can fix it. Luckily, I learned how to fix it, and it only takes me about 10 seconds. Cool. And now it's all gone, but now it's good. We're back. I think we're back. Yeah, no, we're definitely back. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. Wow. This is like, I feel like this is like I'm just like scrolling up and down in the chat. I feel like this is the most there's been chat before a stream. That's great. That's great. Keep it up. Let's keep the chatting going. Keep that energy up. And let me shout out this channel, Catacomb Cat over here. The woman running Epstein's Island has been arrested. Video from fairly small YouTube channel, 7.69 thousand subscribers, but with like quite a few views on this video. So this one's definitely popping off, and seems very well researched, and yeah, it seems interesting. So looking forward to seeing more from Catacomb Cat. I think Catacomb refers to the internet, right? I think at some point in there she said something like, oh, the catacombs that we call the internet. But she seems good at like looking stuff up and finding, people, information, stuff about that. Huh? I identify as a motherless bastard. Okay, sure. Wait, what about this? Oh, that's weird that works, but I'm a little confused. But is this good? Huh. Check. Yeah. Okay, I get. That's so odd. All right, well, we'll just keep this on for now. And at some point, it is going to go to double audio when the other thing starts working. But whatever. Hey, listen, I don't know. I honestly don't know what's up. But I do want to shout out Catacomb Cat, small account that by all appearances it seems to be about to blow up. So get in on there. Headache Gang, yes. Yeah, I went to, my buddy had a baby shower yesterday, and it was like, got there at like noon, and we just were drinking beers all day. I was like getting like cottage drunk, So anyway, I'm 36, and it takes me a little while to recover. But luckily, I feel like I wish my voice sounded like this all the time. Honestly, that'd be cool. Could Marjorie be on a podcast with Alex Jones? Oh, I mean, like she has been on Infowars a lot. I don't know that she's been on the Alex Jones show yet, but yeah, like that would be that wouldn't even be a new thing. That's just something that constantly happens. But yeah, okay, yeah, hey, all right. People seem to be interested in the what do I even call it? The question posed by my thumbnail / thing, leftist ally Marjorie Taylor Greene. Do we gotta hand it to Marjorie Taylor Greene? This is the question that on everyone's lips who reads out loud and is looking at the name of this stream right now. Do we got to hand it to Marjorie Taylor Greene? Now, I don't know. Maybe this was a little bit of a clickbait title, but I have found like there's been sort of a, I don't know, let's call it what do we want to call it? A lot of angry people on Twitter, a kerfuffle or two, several, perhaps we could even say several kerfuffles. Kerfuffy? The answer is no. No, but I think that there's, maybe like some interesting things to be made. But this question, I got thinking about this from this clip from AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Sorry, I sound racist when I try to pronounce Latin people's names properly, but I swear I'm not trying to be racist. I'm trying to be cool, like a cool, racially tolerant guy. But that's not easy to do for me. But okay, here we go. I don't know why I'm setting this up like this, but let's just watch this. From C-SPAN.
And I care about results. I care about results. Now,
I guess the question was, would you consider working with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think?
Certain areas where I don't think that we should ignore some folks' record on some of these issues, right? It's about where we trust intent, where we trust where those outcomes are going. I personally do not trust someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, a proven bigot and anti-Semite, on the issues of what is good for Gazans and Israelis. I don't think that it benefits our movement in that instance to align the left with white nationalists. I don't think it serves us.
So that's, that is pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. She goes on for another 45 seconds or so, but that's basically what the thing was. So hang on. Let me just give you an idea here of what the response was, or at least what the response that I get fed in my, whatever you call it, algorithm. Here you go. So the pseudo-moralistic act of, oh my God, they're fascists, I can't work with them, only works when you don't happily ally with, endorse, lie for literal genocidal Zionist war criminals like Genocide Joe and Holocaust Harris. Jenk says, this is just terrible. She sounds like the establishment. She's attacking an opponent of Israel as an anti-Semite. That's exactly what Israeli supporters want. Split the anti-war movement into critics of Israel's genocide. Deeply counterproductive and selfish. Marjorie Taylor Greene is to the left of AOC on Israel. Our movement. Pretty sure I'm not the one who voted President Iron Dome. And then Palestinians, not Gazans. I mean, yeah, like I can see, like, because she did use the language here on the issues of what is good for Gazans and Israelis rather than what's good for Palestinians and Israelis, which, a lot of people just refuse to say Palestinian at all because that implies that there is a state called Palestine. And, it's like New York Times had, like, I don't know if they still do, but for a while they had like a style guide that was like, we never use the term Palestinian. Always say, like, never say Palestine, never say Palestinian. We never blah, blah, blah. I can see why people fixated on that. I don't personally think that it's that big a deal. I know I've used the word Gazan before without thinking about it. But, honestly, like, AOC stuff aside, I think there's definitely like some very good reasons to criticize AOC on, the genocide in Gaza and, Palestinian rights. Most notably, when she said at the DNC that Kamala Harris is working tirelessly for a ceasefire in Gaza. I do think that was pretty messed up, and I don't really understand why she would say something like that, other than, I guess, she really wanted Kamala to win. But anyway, I don't really want to make this about AOC, but I think it is kind of an interesting question. Marjorie Taylor Greene, what do we think about her? Is she somebody that we can work with? Somebody that, like, when it comes to something serious like a genocide, ending a genocide, is she worth working with. Right? You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she seems nice. You know, if you just look at this one photo and you don't know anything else about her, you know, she seems cool. She seems like the head of the, you know, PTA or something, who is strict but reasonable. I don't know. This is like kind of a nice photo. But let's actually go into her backstory and not just judge a book by its cover. This also looks like a book. This looks like the cover of a book. What book would it be? Maybe it'd be like I don't know. I'm trying to put together everything in here. It's a cool jacket. It'd be like how I changed my life and turned my turned my life around by buying this cool blazer. No, I don't know. Yeah, what is that pattern? Anyway, okay, I'm getting lost here. We gotta move on. Now, first thing that we gotta know about Marjorie Taylor Greene is she is crazy. She is totally nuts. You know, she used to write for this online conspiracy website called American Truth Seekers. And you can, there's a podcast clip you can find of her where she's like, and go check, and this is from like, you know, 2017, 2016-ish, like before she was a politician. She was on a podcast and she's like, go and check out my stuff on americantruthseeker.com. And so, you know, you can actually look up some of her old articles. They are quite nuts. They're quite crazy. Democrat Party involved with child sex, Satanism, and the occult. I'm sure you have questions with the Q in red. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure you have Q questions. In this week's, it's also really not very proofread very well, but you know, hey, whatever. That doesn't mean anything. You can be a genius and not know how to spell things like Epstein, you know, Jeffrey Epstein. Just kidding. That's an inappropriate comparison. But in this week's news alone, there are several pieces out that once again bring up extremely disturbing issues in the Democratic Party. What? Bring up extremely disturbing issues and you mean in the Democratic Party? The kinds of things we would all like to call conspiracy theories. Is that sort of how she talks? I forget. Maybe my impression will get better as we go. And choose to believe that these things do not exist. Oh, she sort of has like a southern accent, right? Things that are pure evil and no one wants to really believe are happening. We can't turn our heads any longer. Okay, I'm all over the place. And then she's just like quoting Breitbart. Okay, here's Baphomet. Some kids looking up at Baphomet. What was this? History and the Bible has to say about the issue. As an interesting aside, Satanism has a millennial history of association with child sacrifice, which makes the temple's financial and moral support of abortion a natural activity for the sect. Anyway, I could go on. These articles are long. I had another one here. What was this one? Oh yeah, this one was like more QAnon stuff. This is also by her. American Truth Seekers. QAnon, what is the storm? And what is the storm? And is there about to be an awakening? Question mark. Recently, there's been a lot of chatter in small circles among those who search for the truth. And when was this at? Okay, 2018. Okay, so this is well into like QAnon being pretty big at this point. They call themselves Q. Make no mistake, Q is a patriot. However, the things Q tells us about is beyond. All right. I don't know. You get the idea. Recently, President Trump retweeted a tweet from MAGA Pill that had posted all of Trump's accomplishments since he took office. And then Trump says, wow, even I didn't realize we did so much. Wish the fake news would report. Thank you. President Trump only tweets about things or sources he believes in. We all know he uses Twitter as his main source of communication to the American people. We the people. It's been his greatest weapon to pass the mainstream media. It's worked very well. However, if you Google MAGA Pill, the first sources to pop up from the ever-censoring information machine Google are sources that discredit Trump for tweeting such a crazy website. You must ask yourselves, what can you believe these days? President Trump or Google? Now, I think it's very fun for me to read this in this ridiculous voice, but I feel like this kind of tells us a little bit about Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Like she is, number one, extremely plugged in to what the most insane people on the internet think about stuff. Number two, seems to truly think of Donald Trump, at least in 2018, when this came out, as this like somebody who is like, number one, very smart, also very well read, also very extremely online in the same way as her, and is like, the fact that he retweeted this Q-pilled account, MAGA pill, the fact that he retweeted that, she takes it to be like, you know, he only tweets about things from sources he believes in, you know, like we all know Trump is very careful about who he like, and she, like, this is how she's going into it. And I think it was Finland who was earlier, I believe it was you, Finland, that earlier was saying that you sort of look at Marjorie Taylor Greene as like a true believer, not somebody who's like cynically being like, all right, I guess QAnon's popular, let me go with that. I agree. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene absolutely bought the fucking pitch from Q that Donald Trump is some genius, like, you know, battler of pedophiles, this white hat, you know, guy in the deep state who is on our side and trying to protect the children, and, you know, just like swallowed the Q shit. Hook, line, and sinker. I think that's what she's doing. That's looking at the W accent. All right. I need to hear her talk. I have a couple videos of her. We'll watch in a second. So this is some old shit. People don't know about this, but this is her old shit. So there's just a taste. And what do I got here? Now this was from, I think there's a couple videos on this Media Matters page. Let's just watch those, or just one video. Yeah, I forget what it is, but let's find out. This is from a AmericanPriority.com live stream. She used to do this thing. I don't know really what is it. What was AmericanPriority.com? What was it? Hang on now. An unearthed video. House Minority Leader. Sorry. Uploaded in 2018, 9/11. Okay, hang on. Sorry, I know this is not great, but okay, I don't think it really explains, and if it does, whatever. I don't really want to keep scrolling. But okay, let's just watch this.
What else did he do? Okay, we got the Iran deal, we got the launch of ISIS, and we have the open borders. Oh, open borders. MS-13, everyone. Under Obama came MS-13.
Under Obama.
There's a lot to that. You have to understand. They had very good relationships with MS-13. MS-13 was basically like, they were the kind of the henchmen of the Obama administration. They did a lot of the dirty work. Seth Rich was murdered by 2 MS-13 gang members. That's what I mean by dirty work, okay? So we had open borders, which launched big time MS-13 in our country during the Obama presidency.
I gotta point out, why is there, this is weird, because it's doing the thing that like sometimes news will do. If somebody's on the phone, they'll put like a still image of them. But if they're on, there's a video component, then why do they got a still image and the video? You know, that's odd. You don't see that very often.
So those are just, to me, some of the highlights that happened under the Obama presidency.
All right, she goes on for another couple minutes here. The Obama presidency. Some of the highlights that will go on during the Obama presidency. Yeah. Now, what I want to point out here is, so she's talking about MS-13, this gang from, where are they from? Mexico? I don't even really know, to be honest. I know like Trump brings them up all the time. Are they like some kind of a cartel? Now, what she's referencing there, as we all know, there's a lot there. There's a lot to go into with MS-13. Many of them come from Mexico, and they were from Obama when he opened up the borders so that people could come across. Now, what they became the official workers for the Democrats. Democrats could get MS-13 to go and do stuff for them. And that means, I don't know, I want to give her a cold a little bit. Now that means, well, yes, MS-13. What's the 13th letter of the alphabet? M. That's short for Michelle Obama. MS-13 is Michelle Obama's org. MS stands for Michelle's. Michelle's M. That's what it is. Nerd voice is bleeding in. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try different things out until you guys think I did a good job. But that's a weird thing, right? Well, that's a weird thing to say. Have you guys heard that before? Have you guys heard that MS-13 is like doing the bidding of Obama? Like what did she say here? All right, whatever. Well, this is actually from Q. That's where this comes from. There's no evidence, by the way, that Seth Rich was killed by MS-13. There's no evidence of that. But this is the 6th Q drop. This is Q drop number 6. Very, very early. This is like some of the old shit. This is back when it was on 4chan before it moved to 8chan. From Q drop number 6, POTUS 100% insulated. And I highlighted the part here because if you've never read Q drops, Q often just kind of asks these like weird sort of like riddle questions. I got to make everything bigger. Hang on. I want to be able to zoom in a little bit more. What? Okay. Well, that's too big now, I guess. Okay, whatever. This will have to do. There. Perfect. Why is that? So this is in a list of other questions. It's not connected to anything else in the list. Q says, why is MS-13 a priority? Could people pay such gangs to kill opponents? And why/how to insulate against exposure? And now we go down here. This is in Q drop number 5. Oh, wait. Oh, that's... Wait a second. 29th October 2017. 12:47. 9:40. Oh, that's weird. Wait, okay, so I guess this 6 is wrong. Okay, I'm a little bit confused about the numbering here. In any case, this was like slightly after the first one. Follow the money, it's the key. And then Q like copies and pastes the same thing again. Why is MS-13 a priority? Nobody got this. Could people pay such gangs to kill opponents, and why/how to insulate against exposure? The truth is mind-blowing and cannot be fully exposed. So this was something that like the Q people really dug into, especially after Q was like, by the way, guys, more about MS-13. And to the point where they're like, oh, this is where, like, that's what that's all about. Okay. MS-13 is like, they're the official assassins of the Democrat Party. The Democrats are like, you got to go kill Seth Rich. You got to go do this. And MS-13 would be like, yes, sir. Si, senor, I will do that. And they go and do it. Q is the psyop. Yeah, I mean, I would say functionally for sure, and literally, probably. I mean, yeah, yes, I think that's fair to say. So that's interesting, right? She's saying QAnon shit. I mean, we don't even have to. It's not even like I'm grasping at straws here. We know she's Q-pilled. We have this article she wrote about how the storm is coming. Awakening. Again, 2018. This is before she was in politics, but it's not that long before. God, the way Q writes is so annoying. Here's an old video of hers.
Following 4chan, Q, any of that stuff. Anybody? I'm going to watch for your comments here. Okay, so we posted an article just a few days ago about who is Q. We posted that on American Truth Seekers.
That's the one I was talking about.
There has been a lot of chatter. I don't know how much you guys know about Q. It's an anonymous person. All right, so Q is a patriot. Oh. We know that for sure. But we do not.
We for sure know that Q is an American patriot, and he's definitely not a pig farmer in the Philippines. We definitely know that. He's definitely not that, what I just said. He's not that. He's not a pig farmer and his son in the Philippines. He's an American patriot.
Know who Q is, okay?
And he's also for sure not a South African white supremacist. That's another guy that he definitely isn't. So
now the question is, I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know who Q is, but I'm just going to tell you about it because I think it's something worth listening to and paying attention to.
All right.
Okay, and the reason why is because many of the things that he has given clues about and talked about on 4chan and other forums have really proven to be true.
He's really Q's done stuff on 4chan.
I can't not do the nerd voice a little bit. I don't know why. Here's from one of her things when she was running for Congress, I guess. At least it was still up when she made her fan page into a political launchpad. From June 30th, 2018.
Awesome post by Q today. Play loud, be proud. Fight for what is right. Fight for freedom. They will not win. Divide they try. Fail they will. Together. Where we go one, we go all. Q plus.
And then there's a link to a song, I guess, about Reagan. I don't really know. I honestly don't know what the link is here. But yeah, no. Q would sometimes do that. Q would sometimes post like boomer ass like clip compilations over some like classic rock song. Like the last QAnon post ever is a link to a like after, like right before January 6th, after Trump had lost the election. Q was like, he will definitely win. He will win. Don't worry. He will win. Trust the plan. And then he lost. Q posted like one more clip. And it was a link to a bunch of edited montage of a bunch of Trump rallies over the song "We're Not Gonna Take It" by D. Snyder. Anyway, here's her on Twitter replying to Alex Jones.
Things I trust more than Hillary Clinton: Mexican tap water, a rattlesnake with a pet me sign, an elevator ride with Ray Rice, Bill Cosby as a bartender.
Who's Ray Rice? An elevator ride with Ray Rice. Why do I almost remember what that is? Okay, I don't know.
A gas station sushi, a Jimmy Carter economic plan, Brian Williams news reports, emails from a Nigerian princess, and a prostate exam from Captain Hook.
Oh, prostate exam from Captain Hook. Well, okay, this one's all over the place.
Yeah, I did my research, and it showed that Q did their research.
Oh yeah, is that what it sound like? The Professor Frink mixed with Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel. Interesting.
As there are now over 70 people.
Okay, so this is like some of the Q-pilled stuff that she's done. She was QAnon. She sort of distanced herself. She distanced herself a little bit from QAnon when she got into Congress, and people were like, "You're QAnon? What the fuck?" And she continued to, Marjorie Taylor Greene has a prostate. Yeah, let's start transvestigating Marjorie Taylor Greene. And that'll be our first piece of evidence. But this is maybe, so this one, one of the most famous things about Marjorie Taylor Greene is the stuff about Jewish space lasers. I'm sure you've heard that phrase, Jewish space lasers. She's been confronted about that. She does not like it when people talk to her about that. There's a clip of, I think, some British journalist asking her about that, and she goes, "You can fuck off," or whatever, which is kind of fun. But I must say that she never used the phrase Jewish space lasers. However, I mean, I think there's enough reason. I think that, like, if you are familiar with Marjorie Taylor Greene's, the things that she's posting, the stuff she's writing about QAnon, the stuff she's writing about, conspiracies in general, how tapped in she is to this, how concerned she is about white people, just like a lot of stuff in her life that kind of in her history that might give you a little bit of context here. This is the post that the Jewish space laser thing comes from. It is crazy. I don't think she ever mentions Jewish people. She doesn't use the word Jewish at all. But she does. So this is after a California wildfire tragedy. I forget exactly where this was. But she goes into this whole thing.
Over 70 people confirmed dead and over 1,000 missing. The fires in California are a horrific tragedy. I'm praying for all involved. I'm posting this in speculation because there are too many coincidences to ignore, and just putting it out there from some research I've done stemming from my curiosity over PG&E stocks, which tanked all week and then rallied Thursday night after California officials announced they would not let PG&E fail. I find it very interesting that Roger Kimmel, On the board of directors of PG&E is also the vice chairman of Rothschild Inc., international investment banking firm. Now, that's true, I think. Roger Kimball is one of the board of directors of PG&E. He also sits as the vice chairman of Rothschild Inc., which is a international investment banking firm. I mean, they are based in Europe. They're based in Rothschild International Investment Banking is that what it's called? Rothschild Inc. Is like France and England, I think. So not really connected, but Rothschild's sort of a little bit of a dog whistle for some conspiracy types. I also find it interesting the long history of financial contributions PG&E has made to Jerry Brown over the years. Millions spent in lobbying. What a coincidence it must be Governor Brown signed a bill, September 2018, protecting PG&E and allowing PG&E to pass off its cost of fire responsibility to its customers and rate hikes through bonds. It also must just be a coincidence that the fires are burning in the same protected areas that the blah, 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 blah. Listen, I don't need to read this entire thing. There's a lot here. It is very populist, Oh, why do we have to pay for all these things? Why is this this is kind of like, anti neoliberal economics, Reaganomics, whatever, trickle down stuff. Why are we protecting big businesses? Which is interesting, but I mean, yeah. The idea is a clean energy. So where's the part where they get to space lasers? Here we go. They announced the launch into space March 2018. Maybe even put them up before that. Space solar generators collect the sun's energy and then beam it back to Earth to a transmitter to convert to electricity. The idea is to clean energy to replace coal and oil. If they're beaming energy back to Earth from the sun, I'm sure they won't ever miss a transmitter receiving station, right? Exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. I mean, mistakes are never made when anything new is invented. What could that look like anyway? A laser beam or a light beam coming on down to Earth, I guess. Could that cause a fire? I don't know. I hope not. That wouldn't look so good for PG&E. Rothschild Inc., Solarin, or Jerry Brown, who sure does seem fond of PG&E. Now, I don't know why a laser beam of light coming down to Earth in California and starting a forest fire. Let's say that does happen. I don't know why that would look bad for Rothschild Inc., which again doesn't really have anything to do with America. I mean, they're like located overseas. I guess, but because she has this connection with this guy Kimmel, what's his name again? Roger Kimmel. That's why it wouldn't look good. But I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to be. That's the part of the the corkboard string kind of map that I feel like needs more explanation here. I'm just like, I know it's really important for you to loop the Rothschilds into this, but you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, and that's true too. Finland, yeah. A lot of people who are obsessed with the Rothschild are also obsessed with the Rockefellers. And I don't necessarily think it's always anti-Semitic to critique the Rothschilds, for sure. It can't be. But anyway, but what do I know? I just like to read a lot. Shrug. So listen, this thing is dumb. It's a very dumb post. It's somebody whose brain is currently in the process of being microwaved by all the time she's spending reading Q drops and watching, videos like this from alternativeenergynews.info. She's nuts. She doesn't seem to have a strong grasp on reality, just from the fact that she thinks that Trump was going to be the, what was it? What did she say? She's like, well, we all know Trump definitely always rigorously fact checks his sources and he only retweets things from people he 100% agrees with. Which is a very silly thing to think. And I know a lot of people on the left think that too, where they're like, for the same post, they'll be like, he's retweeting from MAGA Pill. This is a QAnon. Trump just retweets shit that is nice to him, So that's just to give you a little background on, Marjorie Taylor Greene's kind of kookiness. That's that.
Who exactly is allying with her, though? I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess I would just say from this tweet about AOC, there's a lot of people in the comments who are, leftists who are like, she's to the left of AOC. She's way better than AOC. We need to work with her. And I mean, I'm not even saying that that's wrong, really. I think that like, if there is an opportunity to use Marjorie Taylor Greene to somehow help the situation in Gaza, that could be worth it. But also, I do find it a little weird. People seem to maybe be forgetting some things from her past. I want to talk about something else. So this is the kind of crazy QAnon stuff, right? So there's another thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene that I don't feel like it gets talked about very much. I've seen people talk a lot about how anti-Semitic Marjorie Taylor Greene is. And I mean, like I said, there's reason to take that seriously. I think that she kind of is that. I think she is definitely anti-Semitic. But I never really hear people talk about how Islamophobic she is, because she is like extremely Islamophobic as well. In fact, in her early political career, she wanted to censure Rashida Tlaib over her rhetoric about Israel. This is 2023. Yeah, November 2023. So almost 2024. It's like not that long ago, really. She, blah, 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 blah. What did she say? Come on now. Oh, no, I don't care about press freedom. Just kidding. I think press freedom's good. Greene introduced a censure resolution last week against Tlaib, one of two Muslims in Congress. The resolution accuses Tlaib of anti-Semitic activity after she voiced concern over America's continued role in supplying arms to Israel, and as it engages in a bloody battle with Hamas following Hamas's deadly October 17th surprise attack. She also falsely accused Tlaib of leading an insurrection into the Capitol complex when she participated in a pro-Gaza rally organized by Jewish advocacy groups last month. Now that's kind of nuts, right? That's kind of nuts. Especially from like what I've been seeing on Twitter about all these leftists being like, she's to the left of AOC, blah, 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 blah. Here's something from a while ago. I think this is from 2019. But this was a post on her official Facebook page. It's a post of her standing next to Ilhan Omar, AOC, and Rashida Tlaib, Squad's Worst Nightmare, and it's her looking cool. I don't know if you guys can see, but she's got a freaking gun in her. She's holding a gun. Like, that's fucking crazy. And I remember being frustrated when this came out that not many people were talking about it, and people were still at this point making a big deal about the Jewish space laser thing. And a lot of times people would be like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a proven anti-Semite. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. She's anti-Semitic. I think you're right about that. But she's also extremely Islamophobic. I think it's like actually quite a good example of how they can say, like, you can get away with being Islamophobic so much more than you can with anti-Semitism. And what did she write above here? Hate American leftists want to take this country down. Oh, hate America leftists. Okay, that's what it means. Like, that's the type of leftists they are. There's different types of leftists, but the hate America leftists are the ones that want to take this country down. Politicians have failed this country. I'm tired of seeing weak establishment Republicans play defense. Our country's on the line. America needs fighters who speak the truth. We need strong conservative Christians to go on the offense against these socialists who want to rip our country apart. Americans must take our country back. Save America, stop socialism, defeat the Democrats. Marjorie, from Marjorie. XOXO from Marjorie. I did see this. Yeah, they're taking Massey down by saying there's an AI video out now of Thomas Massey in a throuple with AOC and Ilhan Omar. That should be illegal, I feel like, putting an ad out like that. But to be fair to Marjorie Taylor Greene, she did come to Massey's defense at least and say, like, you got to take this down. This is completely wrong. You know, she's kind of on she's on the right side of history with that one, I will say. And here's Ilhan Omar talking about that. about this post. Posting a photo with an assault rifle next to the faces of 3 women of color is not advertising, it's incitement. There are already death threats in response to this post. Facebook should remove this violent provocation. I think there's like more to the post. Hang on, let me switch over to internet here for a minute. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, flap, boom. All right. More importantly, at Real Donald Trump, at GOP leader, this rests squarely on your shoulders. You've incited attacks on us since we were sworn in. You've told us to go back where we came from. This is your party now, dangerous and disgraceful. So, yeah, I mean, this is somebody who is, fomenting like racist violence. This is basically like a white nationalist. I think I'm comfortable using that term for Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I don't think that I would really say that has changed. I mean, I have even more examples of this sort of thing. I don't know if I need to go through all of them, but here's one from. I think this is actually a compilation from Politico. Here's just like a compilation of clips of her saying things. The views expressed in the following video are not those of Politico. Oh, really? Oh, Politico didn't pay Marjorie Taylor Greene to say all this stuff? Oh, it's a 10-minute video.
There is an Islamic invasion into our government offices right now, okay? They are, you saw after midterm elections, we saw so many Muslims elected. I don't know the exact number, but there were quite a few. We had that woman out of Minnesota. Now she's going into Congress and she's got to wear a head covering. They want to put their hand on the Quran and be sworn in. No.
Oh, she hates that they got sworn in on the Quran.
You have to be sworn in on the Bible.
That's not true.
We have an Islamic invasion into our government offices. Now, yes, I'll say this, we have freedom of religion in this country that protects anyone to have any kind of religion that they want. And that's great.
Okay. So what's your point?
It's one of our freedoms, right? But I'm sorry, anyone that is a Muslim that believes in Sharia law does not belong in our government.
So she seems kind of dumb, right? Like maybe she's just an idiot. So what she says there is like makes no sense. She's like,
well, obviously you can't be going into. We have a beautiful free country here where we have freedom of religion. You're allowed to believe whatever you want, and I think that's good. But obviously, we're Muslim. If you're Muslim, you can't come into a presidential office or thereof in a campaign. Now, I would like to say as an Islamic invasion, we have upwards of 2 or 1 Muslims in the thing, and they swore in on a Quran, which technically is their God-given American right. But I think all types of people have the right to be sworn in on only one type of Bible.
They don't. Islam is the Sharia law is the most brutal. It is a horrible law. They brutalize.
It is a horrible law. It's just one law.
The Sharia law, it makes it mandatory for everyone to be Sharia.
Here's the thing she posted. This is a viral video back in the day, actually. Forget what it was called. Informed American Citizen, but it was a bunch of clips of basically like brown and black people getting in fights and stuff, and it was all cut together to make it seem like there's an emergency of invasion of non-white immigrants to Europe, and it also had clips of like Jewish people. It was basically like Great Replacement theory, where the Jews are orchestrating all of these Muslims and brown and black people to move to the UK to ruin society. But it was all like, it made it seem like all these clips were from this one period of time, but they're actually from like, all over the place, not just the UK, not just from that time period, from like many years, whatever. Like they're all kind of edited out of context. She posted this video on her page.
This is what the UN wants all over the world, with the UN Global Immigration Compact to be signed December 10th to 11th in Morocco. And I'm still banned on my FB pages from going live for using the term illegal invaders. Apparently, that's hate speech.
Anyway, I'm sure she said something else aside from just illegal invaders. Yeah. I found this Vice article where it goes into it. The anti-refugee video taking the internet by storm. This is from 2015 too. So she was even posting it like 3 years after it was viral. But anyway, yeah, I don't need to. What's it called? With Open Gates, the forced collective suicide of European nations is what it's called. Yeah. Got more of this. What was this one? Oh, yeah. This was something she did. So up above, we watched the clip of her being like, they swore in on a Quran, that's illegal. Even though I know we have technically got freedom of religion. You're not allowed to do that, I'm pretty sure. And so what she actually did was she went to confront, not AOC, but Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib in their offices. She went into, at least she went into Omar's office, I remember. And she was like, kind of like harassing her and telling her to
I truly feel like as a woman in America, I really need to go talk to these ladies. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they support, you know what, they support Sharia. And these are women that really would like to see Sharia in America. And as an American woman, as a business owner, as a mother, I have 2 daughters, I never want to see Sharia in America.
As a business owner, I never want to see Sharia.
It's like she does. I think she does think that Sharia is also socialist. I think she thinks that. So she's not a smart person, but you know, I think she is. She does believe what she believes. Was MTG's first break with Trump over Epstein? That's my understanding. I think basically up until very recently, she was like lockstep, you know, MAGA, and she's long been, you know, before she quit Congress, she was the number 1 fundraiser. So people loved this shit. A lot of people she was number 1 fundraiser for the Republicans. A lot of people loved this shit, giving her lots of, you know, whatever. And yeah, as a woman, yeah, identity politics much.
Oh, I have lived experience as a person of business owning ethnicity,
you know. Be sworn into the Dungeon Master's Guide. Like, who gives a fuck? Oh, yeah, get sworn in on whatever book you want. But no, for her, it was a big deal. A very big deal.
And so I really want to go talk to these ladies and ask them what they are thinking and why they're serving in our American government. They really should go back to the Middle East if they support Sharia. So let's go talk to them.
How about
You know what else is from the Middle East? The Bible. The Bible is also entirely from the Middle East. Like what did you think? Here she is.
They swore in on the Quran.
Still talking
the
about
Bible. We're going to talk about swearing in on the how to swear in on the Bible with them and let them know what our law says, that you can't swear in on the Quran. So we're going to explain to that. You know, we're going to explain about how you can't swear. It wasn't a law yet,
so
right?
She is coming with like a bunch of fucking bros. She's got like these guys with her with MAGA hats, and I don't know what it says on their shirts, but she's brought like a fucking, you know, the muscle with her.
At the time they swore in. I don't know. I think at the time they swore in that wasn't passed. Yeah. Because it wouldn't have been passed in a Republican control. Right.
She is so ignorant as well, just completely wrong.
Oh, I think when they swore now as well, because Obama maybe made it, but actually it wasn't quite true.
Like, it's been fine to swear in on the Quran. Like, she's just completely unaware of this thing, that she's decided to make such a big deal of it that she's going into these.
Yeah, so it was passed after they swore in, so they're not really official.
So they shouldn't even really be allowed to be what they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, where's the parts where she's actually in the thing? Oh, did she not go in? I thought she did. Well, here we go. Yeah, filming in Tlaib's office. Yeah, while in Omar's office. So she did go into their offices and film this bullshit there.
Greene said, I feel very threatened by this representative and other representatives that really embrace Sharia and embrace Islam. And I feel that's a threat to my freedoms in the future in America and for my daughters and granddaughters. Is Ilhan Omar, is she interested in changing my freedom for women and pushing us down in level of equality? Because that's what happens in Muslim nations. She added that if she claims to protect women's rights, she'd never support anything that Islam supports, and I want to say that on record.
Filming in Tlaib's office, Greene said,
I'm concerned about is her support for Sharia and her support for Islam. How is that going to affect my freedoms as a woman? Because Islamic countries and Muslim countries, women aren't treated the same. They're not treated equally as women are here in America. It's like,
Well, you are also not in favor of that either. This is from her website, Flash Poll. This is from her official website, Action Green 2020. This is like, 2018, there was all the Jewish space lasers shit on her, like, Facebook. This is when she's a politician. Flash Poll, did Ilhan Omar marry her brother? Vote now. Did Ilhan Omar marry her brother from Somalia? Yes, she married her brother. Or no. Crazy. And then right up here at the bottom, you can see, I don't know if you can see there. I can't zoom in more, but it says, paid for by Green for Congress. Cool. Cool thing to put on your thing. And then what was this? One more thing here. No, I will not consent to anything. How do I do that? Oh, God. There's no way for me to just automatically. No. Great. Get out of here. Oh, man, this is really annoying. Hang on. I got to make this bigger. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims Ilhan Omar she hates Ilhan Omar. Constantly going off about her. Claims Ilhan Omar is a foreign agent as she launches bid to censure squad member over speech declaring she's Somalian first. This was a whole thing where, I'll just quickly explain it and then we'll move on. Ilhan Omar gave a speech to like a bunch of American Somali people, Somalian Americans. And she was like, she gave a speech in Somali. Is that the language? I'm actually not sure, but she gave a speech not in English to these people. And then somebody took that speech and put like subtitles under it that were not correct. And it says like, we are Somalians and we will get the government to do whatever we want. What is the government going to do? The exact thing that we tell them to do, because we Somalians control the U.S. government and they have to do what we say. It was really, really stupid. It might even say, does it say in this article I got what, where is it?
Today I introduced censure resolution against Ilhan Omar. A reason why I did this, and I'll just say this, the censure is not going far enough. If it were up to me, we'd expel Ilhan Omar and deport her out of the United States. Anyways, I was hoping it would have a quote from, oh, here we go. Yeah. For as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters, Indian Ocean, will not be stolen by Ethiopia. The U.S. would not dare support anyone against Somalia. Anyway. I do not even know what an MOU is in Somali. Okay, I'm not really sure what's what, but I know the quote from that people are getting so upset about. Like when you read it, it's like that's obviously not what she said. Anyway, but yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of sucks. Hot take. She's bad, I would say. So that's okay. That's her stuff about being Islamophobic. And you know what? Like, okay, yeah, she's crazy. She's into QAnon stuff. She hates Muslims like passionately, and has sort of built her political career on that largely. Like, open borders. Oh, Muslim immigrants. Oh, I'm gonna kill the squad. They're bringing Sharia law. We need to get rid of these people. Should be killed and then brought back, taken to, not only should they be banished from the country, I think we should, whatever. Like, she's very bad. I mean, there's a million other things too. I started making other stuff about her. She tells trans women to stay out of her rape crisis centers. 2 congresswomen are having, this one was about, Marie Newman is a Democratic congresswoman who has a trans daughter, and she had a trans flag outside of her office. And Marjorie Taylor Greene put up a sign outside her office that says, there are 2 genders, male and female. Trust the science. And what did she do? I thought that did she steal the flag or something? Greene, who's best known for her support for bizarre conspiracy theories like the false idea that Hillary Clinton and Tom Hanks are running a cannibalistic child sex trafficking ring that Donald Trump was secretly trying to take down, is also really opposed to LGBTQ rights. Yes. She tried to block the Equality Act. There are two genders. Destroy women's rights and religious freedoms. She posted a video of herself smirking at the camera while slapping it on the wall. Yeah, so here's her. Thought we'd put up ours so she can look at it every time she opens her door. There are two genders. Trust the science. Cool. Very cool stuff. What's this one? Hang on now. I got okay, there's a little error. I don't even remember what this was, but yeah, let me find it here. 1017 56 16. 1017 56 16 was it? Yeah. There we go. She's also against abortion. We have a Democrat Party that claims to be a champion for women. They claim abortion's pregnancy rights, but instead that's killing a baby in a woman's womb. It's actually the worst scar a woman can carry for the rest of her life. It's like come on now. As much as you hate abortion, it's not the worst scar that a woman can carry for the rest of her life. That's just ridiculous. And I don't even have time to go through everything, but here's like just her Wikipedia page. Here's just a bunch of her political positions. Anti-abortion. She thinks children should not wear masks. Called for face mask requirements, tyrannical control. Opposed any form of mask wearing, vaccination, lockdowns. Refused to get a vaccine. Blah, 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 blah. She's been fined many times for not wearing a mask. Okay, moving on from the COVID stuff. Support of Donald Trump. She called for the results of the 2020 election to be decertified. She introduced an article of impeachment against Biden after Trump's second impeachment. During an interview with Steve Bannon, Greene rejected a conspiracy theory that suggested Trump would be reinstated as a president. Okay, there's one example of her actually being sort of sane. Foreign policy, she wants to end any sort of American aid overseas, whether for China, Russia, the Middle East, or Guam, even though Guam is an American territory. The people who live in Guam are American citizens. She was one of 14 House Republicans to vote against a measure condemning the Myanmar coup for reasons reported to be unclear. It was like, even we don't get why she did that. Foreign policy, Russia and Ukraine, Israel, Palestine. Now this one, as I sort of showed earlier with their thing with Rashida Tlaib right after October 7th, she was bad on this. She was like attacking Rashida Tlaib for being anti-Semitic and sympathizing with Hamas. But then later she was like, actually, I don't know if Iran has nukes. I don't know about that. Maybe and you know what? I think maybe gotta hand it to her a little bit. She was the first Congress person to call, is that what it is? Am I getting that right? The first congressperson in general? The first Republican to call the situation in Gaza a genocide. And this is her tweet doing that. And she's attacking Randy Fine, who is like one of the biggest pieces of shit ever on this issue. I remember the first time I met Randy Fine when he was a candidate before he barely won Florida's deep red 6th district seat. We were being told he might actually lose a seat, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes on, she says, it's the most truthful and easiest thing to say that October 7th in Israel was horrific and all hostages must be returned, but so is the genocide, humanitarian crisis, and starvation happening in Gaza. So that, okay, sure, good, that's correct. And unfortunately, it's a big deal that, like, she said it. It's extremely obvious that it's a genocide, but unfortunately, no other Republican had said it at that point. Here's the actual tweet. Yes, moving on. And then she started voting alongside Tlaib and Omar to cut U.S. funding for Israel. That was a surprise. But I do want to point out, okay, this is good. This is good, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is a good thing you're doing. But like how she talks about it is interesting. She goes, Israel bombed the Catholic Church in Gaza, and that entire population is being wiped out as they continue their aggressive war in Gaza. It's like focused on their attack on Christians, which I think is interesting, and it does kind of fit with her previous sort of hatred of people who are not Christian. It's come to a point where it's so obvious all the time in every language, social media posts they put out, statements that they make, they have to proclaim Israel. They have to proclaim their faith and loyalty in Israel. I mean,
Yes, that does sound like an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, but that is also true. Plainly. What about it? It's becoming like, wait a minute, what about our own country? What about our own people? Citing her children, she said, they can't afford rent. They can't afford to buy a house. They can't afford insurance. They can't buy a new car. They can't find a good paying job. It seems hopeless for them. But then in Congress, everyone's chasing and pursuing and proclaiming their loyalty to a foreign country. You know, so it's like there's some of that like populist stuff. A higher pitch, faster talking Bill Clinton. Really? Oh, geez. Okay, I'll work on this. This is going to be a priority for me. Greene causes the Gaza crisis a genocide, hinting at a rift on the right over Israel. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a big deal. I forget why I brought us this article in particular. But this was super embarrassing. No, I was going to say this was really interesting, but then I just got caught up. Reading this. This was Ilhan Omar, probably the person who, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been the most horrible to. This is Ilhan Omar, who's received nothing but like just vile attacks from this person, talking about her in this Pod Save America interview from a couple weeks ago. And I thought it was really interesting how she took it. Here we go.
The disaster in Lebanon, it's almost it's a whole other story. I mean, it's just enormous. Another theater of this war that's barely getting discussed because what's happening in Iran is so bad. Shifting gears a little bit, I did want to uplift us for a minute and play some comments from your former colleague, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's watch this.
The American people have to open their eyes and deal with reality and deal with truth. And the truth is, look, you may have supported President Trump for 10 years like I did, like you have, but this is not the same man. This is not the same man that we supported.
So she's talking to Alex Jones there.
Wow.
She is far from the only.
So there you go. Somebody brought it up. Oh, maybe she'll do stuff with Alex Jones. She's been doing stuff with Alex Jones. She's always been doing stuff with Alex Jones. She's like, a lot of her beliefs probably come from Alex Jones. Certainly do.
Diehard MAGA supporter who is broken with Trump over Jeffrey Epstein or now Iran. There's Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, MTG, a bunch of influential streamers that our audience has probably never heard of, but have millions and millions of followers. What's your reaction to seeing comments like that from Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah, Finland. I mean, he is the same man. Like, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's so funny because, like, I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene, it seemed like before, even in, like, October 2023, she was pro-Israel, you know? And she was, like, attacking Rashida Tlaib for being pro-Hamas. And then something happened. She had a conversation with Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson or somebody and was like, actually, no. The right thing here is to be anti-Israel. Something changed. But then she's acting like Trump changed. And it's, no, he did. He's always been like this. So, she's never been the brightest, bulb in the Home Depot shelf of bulbs. What? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Someone has not always been, I think, as collegial to you as she should have been. And
putting it mildly, Marjorie Taylor Greene hasn't always been as collegial to you. She's like threatened to murder you.
and how do you think Democrats should respond? Like, do you work with these kind of disaffected MAGA voices? Do we build a bigger tent to try to win in November? How are you thinking about it?
Well, I mean, just to answer the latter part of your question, I think as Americans, it is really important for us to work together for the preservation of everything that is good in our country, and to support leaders that we can trust to safeguard what is good about our country. And I believe the thing that has been very fascinating, especially about Marjorie and Candace, is that they are not just coming out like the other ones that you'd mentioned, where they're saying this action is wrong, right? They're saying, I am done with you.
Yeah, it's like a values-based. Like,
right.
this.
Interesting. Oh, wait, I'm trying to remember who all the guys that he mentioned were. Tucker. Sorry. Wait, let's go back a second. You know what? It'll be easier if I just watch this on YouTube instead of on Obsidian. Sorry, Obsidian. Love you. I love you, Obsidian, but sometimes you make it hard to navigate stuff.
Their abuse is also.
Oh wow! I jumped quite a bit ahead. Hang on now.
I believe the thing that has.
And let me just get the transcript up here. What's your reaction? So he said Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a bunch of influential streamers that our audience has probably never heard of, but have millions and millions of followers. And so then she says, the thing that's been very fascinating, especially about Marjorie and Candace, is that they're not just coming out like the other ones that you'd mentioned, where they're saying this action is wrong. They're saying, I am done with you, Trump. And so that would be Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and the streamers. Interesting to make that, differentiation, right? Like that's, yeah. I mean, Candace, so she's saying, I guess, that in her, from her judgment, she thinks Candace Owens and Marjorie Taylor Greene are being like real about, like this is something that they really care about. Which is interesting. I mean, I feel that more with Marjorie Taylor Greene than with Candace, to be honest. I think Candace is probably just says whatever she thinks, but although she does genuinely seem to, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I sort of look at Candace like combination of Charlie Kirk and Alex Jones, where she's really, her opinions are for sale, like Charlie Kirk's were, or any group could be like, Candace, we need you to do this. But also, like Alex Jones, she has a very good sense of what horrible opinion she can put forward that'll get her a lot of views and cause a lot of controversy. Like Alex Jones certainly did. But I don't know, maybe there is something with the genocide where people like Candace and Marjorie Taylor Greene are actually like, no, this is fucked. Like, I will make a stand. I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. Megyn Kelly's still riding the fence. I think so, although she's, yeah. This might have been before Tucker did say he apologized for like telling people to vote for Trump. This is from April 11th, so it's from a month ago. But yeah.
It's been very fascinating, especially about Marjorie and Candace, is that they are not just coming out like the other ones that you'd mentioned.
Yeah, I agree with that, Weird Housewives Club. Candace seems serious about some stuff, grifty about most. She's very intelligent and shrewd. Yeah, I think you're right.
Coming out like the other ones that you'd mentioned, where they're saying this action is wrong, right? They're saying, I am done with you.
Yeah, it's like a values based. Like,
right.
This guy is bad, not like this policy is bad.
Right, and I think that we should give them credit for that. The fact that they've had this wake-up call to finally seeing this con man, this corrupt, chaotic man for what he is. The fact that they understand that he never really had any principles outside of uplifting his ego. They finally understand that his run for the presidency has never really been about America or keeping with the traditions of what it means to be a president of the United States and moving this country forward. It was always about, how do I enrich myself? It was always about a grievance politics, or he was upset that Obama was mocking him. It was all about these other things. It was never about putting America first. It was never about having coherent policies. This is a man who said, I have a concept of a healthcare plan, over and over
like
again.
10 years ago.
Right. That he's got like a binder full of, he's never.
I think the binder full of, that was a Mitt Romney thing. That wasn't Trump, but anyway.
Then somebody who says something and you can take it to the bank. Yeah. He's never been somebody who has an ideology that could be understood. He calls himself a religious person, but cannot quote a single verse in the Bible. So the fact that they have gotten off the sycophant train and are saying, we trusted the wrong person. We are sorry for that. And we need all of you to wake up to the fact that you've also trusted the wrong person, I think is an important thing for us to put our arms around and say, yes, then now let's figure out how do we save our country from the disaster that this man is creating.
I think it's pretty...
Yeah, isn't that an interesting response? Like, really not what I was expecting. But yeah, Finland's saying, I agree with Omar more than AOC. Giving them credit isn't saying that we should give them money or invite them to speaking gigs or whatever. Yeah, Weird Housewives clubs. Come on, he loves him some 2 Corinthians. Yeah, I mean, I find it quite interesting. I guess what I'd say is, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn, to be honest. I'm a little bit torn. The other thing is, like, I don't know what it means to be, like, allying with Marjorie Taylor Greene now. Like, she's not in Congress anymore. She's doing, like, her own thing. This was a recent speech by her that I thought was, this part of it at least, was noteworthy.
When it comes down to victimizing some of the most innocent people in America, these were young girls that were
Talking about Epstein.
teenagers that desperately wanted to be models one day. They wanted to be seen as beautiful. They wanted to be rich. They wanted to be famous. And of course, every
Speaking at the Ron Paul Institute.
Teenager wants things like that. And they were victimized by Ghislaine Maxwell and others. And they were victimized by the richest, most powerful men, not only in our country, but in the world. And they were used by Jeffrey Epstein as sexual tools for his own satisfaction and his friends' satisfaction. To actually be asked by the President of the United States to back off and not help these women, that's when MAGA died. That's when the entire thing shattered for me. So I kept my name on. Then we spent 8 weeks shut down. Remember that? We spent 8 weeks shut down. By the way, that was to stop the Epstein resolution from getting a House vote. That's what that shutdown was about. Finally,
I thought that was, I mean, I feel like we all knew that was the case, but I think it's like remarkable, worthy of being remarked upon that she's said it. No one else that I know of has said it, but she's that in the Republican Party anyway, where she was like, by the way, that's what it was about. They were afraid of the Epstein files getting out. That's why they shut down the government. And it was just like, huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not really learning anything new, but it's just kind of interesting to hear it got confirmed by her.
They reopened the government and a brand new Democrat member of Congress was sworn in. And we got the 218th signature released.
I forget who that was. But yeah, that was what she was waiting during the whole shutdown to be sworn in because she'd been elected. Yeah.
Resolution passed it overwhelmingly, which was hilarious to me, watching all these Republicans. Oh yeah, all of a sudden I'm voting to release the Epstein files, what a pathetic joke. Weak men. Oh my gosh. They're
so like, she does seem like she is for real about her beliefs. I would say 90% of which are vile, awful things, fascist, bigoted, everything that AOC said about her. I mean, I don't disagree with this. But when it comes to things like the Epstein files or the genocide the genocide at first and foremost, if there's anybody we can ally with that could do anything to make the just wholesale slaughter of innocent people, children, in this horrifically oppressed country across the world, we should do it. I think, like, I'm with Ilhan Omar on that 100%. However, I am skeptical about, opening the door, inviting the vampire inside, allying with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene in any significant way. I don't know. I would say having one good opinion is great, and we should. I say we. You know, I'm not even American. I'm also Canadian, so I'm not going to be allying with anybody. But people like AOC, people like, you know, whatever, Ilhan Omar, people in media, right? Not because Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't in politics anymore. She's in media. So anything that we can do to bring Marjorie Taylor Greene's like audience, I guess, you know, her base towards helping end this genocide, I think is worthy of. Yeah. Again, I had to see exactly what allying means more specifically. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't even really know. I don't even really know. For the sake of my own sanity regarding her current positive positions, I say she agrees with me, not the other way around. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. And she was late to the game on this correct opinion, by the way, too. Like, bear that in mind. She hated Muslims more than she cared about genocide for a while, even after October 7th. But yeah, I mean, it is a kind of a thought experiment, you know, like what exactly do we mean by allying? It's not something we're not in a situation where it's like, all right, you've got all the Palestinians tied to a train track and Marjorie Taylor Greene, you can change the direction, but you gotta let Marjorie Taylor Greene make one transphobic new law, something like that. You know, that isn't the situation that we're in. This is purely a, you know, intellectual exercise. This is not something that we're physically dealing with. Although, I mean, yeah, I'd like to know exactly what the question was that AOC was asked here. I don't think it benefits our movement to align with white nationalists. But yes, I feel her on this one. And I think that, like, whether you agree with AOC or not, I think that the way some people are responding to this is kind of deranged. And some people are saying, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is to the left of AOC. Marjorie Taylor Greene's better than AOC. And it's like, guys, that's not true. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is much worse than basically any other politician on most issues. It's just this one issue that it happens to be arguably the most important issue of our, you know, current geopolitical landscape. She is, you know, 100% correct on. So yeah, hey, I'm not leaving you guys with a solid answer. I'm not sure. I feel very divided on this one, and I thought it was surprising and kind of, you know, interesting to hear Ilhan Omar say that we should give her some credit for that, for this turn. And I can't say I disagree. You know, maybe we do got to hand it to Marjorie Taylor Greene a little bit. And that is the end of the thing about that. It is embarrassing for Democrats. Only 2 of them called it a genocide before her. Oh, is that right? Oh, yikes. So did she call it a genocide before AOC did? The actuality of PDFs is more power than the notion of the other. Just talking about the vote on Iron Dome funding. Oh, is that what Ilhan was talking about? Lots of people criticized AOC at the time. She's for grabs, learned one thing in 10 years. She didn't substantially defend her vote, just pointed at MTG. Is that what the question was here? Oh. Huh. Well, that's quite annoying. And this is a vote that Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib both voted yes on. The resolution to, end funding to the Iron Dome. Huh. Okay, well, maybe I should look more into the context of these things. Quite interesting. All right, what else do I got here? Oh, yes, I know. Something. Gang, we got a suicide note. We got a purported suicide note from Jeffrey Epstein himself. Oh.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Oh, I love that quote.
That is unbelievable.
All right, hang on. I'm going to put this up on the big screen here, by which I mean the my Chrome browser. What's this? Oh, I gotta go past the paywall. 1 second. Purported Epstein suicide note is released. We got a new note. Okay, what is it? We got a video here. Dang. Yo, we got a video. What the heck? Can I watch it? No, I don't think so. Not gonna play. Whatever. But yeah, we got a new video. A new suicide note. How did we find? Oh, sorry. Okay, so first I want to talk about how we got it. Mr. Epstein's cellmate, Nicholas Tartaglione, the insane steroid dealer / murderer, white supremacist cop, bodybuilder, one of the most horrifying looking guys of all time. Hang on, I gotta get you guys. If you haven't seen this guy, this dude, he was Epstein's roommate in prison. Pretty funny. Here's a picture. You can't quite tell. I don't know if this crop is doing justice to how yoked this guy was. But these are some people who he killed. Some guys from whatever. They had some other bodybuilders who had bought. Here we go. We've got this guy and his tiny dogs. To be fair, all dogs probably look small next to this guy. But that's Tartaglione. That's this guy. He hung out with these white supremacist whatever bodybuilders and stuff. And there was one black guy, another black bodybuilder that would come and hang out with them. And they not hang out with them. Him, this Nazi dude who shot himself in the head before he went to jail, and this black guy, they all teamed up to kill these. I think they were Mexican bodybuilders who hadn't paid for their drugs on time. I'm not 100% sure. And then while this guy was in jail, they put him in a cell with Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein's first suicide attempt was while he was cellmates with Tartaglione. Epstein said, Tartaglione tried to kill me. And then he was kind of like, no, he seems nice. Can I go back with my roommate? He was cool. But it's like so weird to put him in a cell with this guy out of all people. Like that does seem like they wanted him to die, you know? Anyway, yeah. Ex-cop Tartaglione. So anyway, guys, Tartaglione now, 7 years after he was in a cell with Epstein, suddenly goes, oh, wait, I actually just found it. I found I just remembered I have his suicide note for the first time he killed himself. The note was made public on Wednesday. Hang on now. Does it not say? Mr. Tartaglione, a former police officer in Briarcliff Manor, New York, shared a cell with Mr. Epstein while awaiting trial in a quadruple murder case. Yes. He told the Times in recent phone interviews from a California prison that he found the note in a graphic novel after Mr. Epstein was taken out of their cell after the apparent suicide attempt. I opened the book to read, and there it was, Mr. Tartaglione said. It was written on a piece of yellow paper ripped from a legal pad. I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's true. So you're saying Epstein tried to kill himself and he wrote a suicide note and he used it as a bookmark in the other guy's graphic novel? Like, first of all, if you're about to kill yourself to the point where you wrote a note, why would you need to use a bookmark for anything? You know what I mean? That doesn't seem like... A bookmark means you're thinking about returning to the book to continue it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not reading the graphic novel in question. Lolita, the graphic novel. Yeah, that would make it a little bit more believable. But I'm just like a little confused here because, so he found it in 2019, like he found it like right afterwards, and then he gave it to someone, and then we're just hearing about it now? Okay. The note became part of a drawn-out legal dispute among Mr. Tartaglioni's lawyers. Documents related to the conflict were placed under court seal to protect attorney-client privilege. Oh, right, because there is a bunch of like redacted pages from Tartaglioni's, discussion, like his legal whatever files. There's a bunch of shit that's gone that we can't read. So is that what this was about? It's unclear when Judge Karras was told about the note. The chronology, maybe they were like trying to use it, like, we've got something that you might want, and we'll give it to you if you say that our client can go free. And they're like, well, he did kill 4 people, but all right, he's got something cool. Let us know what it is. I guess, is that what they're trying to say? Tartaglioni's lawyers had a photograph of the note on a phone. They turned over the original copy of the note in May 2021. That seems late. I guess that's when he decided, you know what, maybe I'll keep reading my graphic novel, The Long Halloween, Batman, whatever. Yes. I mean, right. This part of why Bobby Sturheim was involved in his motion not to get the death penalty. Bobby Sturheim being Guillen's lawyer, later would become Guillen's lawyer. But she was involved in his case because there was some big difficulty in that case that, again, we don't know what it was. She got brought into, like, it's a special kind of, not a trial, but like legal proceeding where they got to get another lawyer in to be like, okay, well, let's figure out what to do in this very weird situation, right? And it was his motion not to get the death penalty, and he didn't get the death penalty. Maybe. Yeah, it's definitely graphic in the ESRB sense. I'm not sure what ESRB stands for, but yeah, maybe when they say graphic novel, they just mean like some whatever, like Lolita or something like that. That's a graphic novel. Before unsealing the note, Judge Karras asked the parties to provide their views on the Times request that the materials be made public. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, which prosecuted Mr. Tartaglioni, said in a letter to the judge, although I don't know if the timeline works for this, because wasn't that in like 2020? Wait, was that in like 2019 or something still that was going on, or was that like 2022? All right, I would have to look this up, but the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, which prosecuted Mr. Tartaglioni, said in a letter to the judge that it did not contest the note's release, given that the defendant made voluntary public statements about it, and his sealing was for Tartaglioni's benefit. Okay. He made voluntary public statements about it. That's the thing, because he's done like a bunch of interviews, but I don't remember hearing him say anything about this. By contrast, there appears to be strong public interest in the circumstances surrounding Epstein's death. One of Tartaglioni's attorneys said, we had no objection to releasing the note. All right. So that's the story of the note. It all seems pretty fishy to me. I'll be honest with you, but let's see what it says, huh? Here we go. Here it is. Doesn't look like yellow legal paper, but I don't know. Maybe this is a black and white photo. And it's written in, I will say this looks a lot like Epstein's handwriting. They investigated me for a month. Found nothing! 3 exclamation marks. So 15-year-old charges resolved. What does it say? So 15-year-old charges are math. So 15-year-old charges results. Not sure. Next, it is a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye. Okay, that sounds like it could be suicide note. It is a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye. What you want me to do? Burst out crying? Actually, I think it says bust out crying. What you want me to do? Bust out crying? Oh, yeah. Watcha. WATCHA. And it says, no fun. Not worth it. Now, okay, weird. weird note, hard to read. That is consistent with how Epstein wrote, though. He was not the most literate guy. Often said things that even when he was typing, you have to read them 3 or 4 times to figure out what he might have been trying to say. There's, I would say, one sentence in there that makes me think it's a suicide note. Everything else, not really sure. But I will say, it is, he mentioned on the Free Guylaine lady. Oh, interesting. I forget her name, but yeah, I know the one you're talking about. She thinks Guylaine's innocent, and he did like some long phone interviews with her. Okay, interesting. Well, here's another note that they found in the cell that he actually killed himself in. So this is after he was with Tartaglione, and it says Davis is usually censored. This is another one. But this one says, Davis kept me in a locked shower stall for 1 hour. Norrell? Now that's another guard, I think. I forget what the name is. Newell? Sent me burnt food. Giant bugs crawling on my hands, giant bugs crawling over my hands. Is that what it says? Giant bugs crawling over my hands. I think that's got to be hands, although I don't know. Crawling over my hands. No fun. Now you'll notice this guy, no fun, he writes on both of these notes. No fun. Now, also, now that we know that this note was turned over like 2 years ago. All right, here's something that makes me think this has got to be real. This part. What you want me to do? Bust out crying? All right, that's a weird little thing, right? What the hell does that mean? What you want me to do? Bust out crying? So, Hollywood Reporter has an article now about how Jeffrey Epstein was a fan of the 1930s TV show Little Rascals. And there's apparently a scene in the Little Rascals where a kid says, What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Bust out crying? That's something that a kid says in it. And if you look into Epstein's emails, and why don't we actually just do this? Why don't we do it? If we go to Gmail and we search, what you want me to do? Bust out crying? I'm just going to go bust out crying, let's say. We get a bunch of results. Look at this. We get 5 emails. We got this one. And this is with his brother, Mark Epstein. And he goes, this whole thing, blah, 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 blah. Are you still in touch with Ava when I was in Dubai last week? Blah, blah, blah. And then Epstein goes, I am in touch. What would you like me to say? Do? Bust out crying? Interesting. And now this one, also with Mark Epstein. What you want me to do? Bust out crying? Not really sure what the context is for that one. Oh, okay. I guess it was in reply to Mark's Epstein saying, on another note, cousin Steve became a grandfather last week. His son had a kid. What you want me to do? Bust out crying? Like he says it always to his brother, it looks like. Always to his brother, or also Terry Kafka. He says, what you want me to do? Bust out crying? Last time I saw you cry was when Steve Jankowicz bit you on your neck. Man, that hurt. Okay. And finally, okay, same one we just read. So he said, this is something that he says. And like, we didn't know that in 2022. That's when he gave it over, right? Bust out crying. Convicted in 2023. Okay, so the original copy of the note was turned over in May 2021. So, I don't know, maybe it was something that, isn't Terry Kafka one of his very old friends from the neighborhood? I believe so, because in the, what's it called? The birthday book when they go to, like, there's a section that's like Coney Island, right? I think that's where Terry Kafka was at. So it's all his brother. Hang on, let me just look this up. Terry Kafka and Epstein, A Chronological History. Oh, nice. Terry Kafka and Epstein, early life, yeah, 1950s, 1960s. First met Jeffrey Epstein around 1958 in Brooklyn's Coney Island neighborhood. So there you go. Wasn't Trump in the Little Rascals remake in the 90s? Was he? Oh, damn, I didn't know that. So that's nuts. But I would say, like, it seems like, and I wish I could actually watch the clip. Unfortunately, I don't think I know how to do that because, hang on now. Where did it go? Oh, did I close it? Yeah, there's a clip here of the actual Little Rascals short that he's quoting, and I can't find it. But I assume here's my assumption, and I feel like this is probably true, but this is total speculation. This is a short whatever. This is a something that Epstein saw as a kid and thought was really, really funny, to the point where he and his brother and his childhood friend Terry Kafka had like this sort of like inside joke between themselves where they'd be like, "Oh, I'm blah blah blah. Oh, what you want me to do? Bust out crying?" Like it was some funny thing that they all thought was funny. You know what I mean? And there's other things. There's in this article is sort of interesting. Him and Joy Ito talked about the Little Rascals, Alfalfa. Epstein sent Joy Ito a photo of Alfalfa from the Little Rascals and was like, "See any resemblance?" And they had like a little whatever jokey back and forth about it. But it's like, okay, so this is a guy who liked the Little Rascals. So I don't know, like I would say that the handwriting, this looks like Epstein's handwriting. This looks a lot like Epstein's handwriting. No fun, underlined, no fun, underlined. Like that same phrase in both. And the "what you want me to do, bust out crying" is so weird. But like I'd be like, what the fuck? When would Epstein say "watcha"? When did he ever say "watcha"? But apparently he did say that. He did. This was like a little catchphrase he had. And only his closest friends would really know about it at this point. So I think we got to say this is a real note. And I think we got to contend with, it is a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye. You know what I mean? They investigated me for a month, found nothing. Or for a month. I mean, I don't know. At this point, he's been in jail for like less than a month. So I don't know what he's really referring to there. But yeah. Interesting, eh? So this is another, I guess, point in the column of, Epstein did kill himself. I would say I think that that's probably true. I at this point, I mean, for a long time I've been saying I think that's most likely. There's also a clip from the Anushka podcast with Brad Edwards where he talks about a woman that one of Epstein's victims told him that when she was on the island with Epstein, Epstein told her, "Hey, by the way, if you ever have to kill yourself, the best way to do it is," and then he described like a partial suspension hanging, which is the way that he ended up dying. Both same sort of things seem to have happened in both cells. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think there were suspicious things going on in Epstein's death. I think that clearly the amount of things that went wrong, the cameras that were off, the guards were asleep, Epstein got moved, taken off the suicide watch for very suspicious, like that doesn't seem like that was what they should have done. They put him in a cell by himself. That definitely shouldn't have been done. And it all just happened to happen around the exact same time. And that's when he killed himself. Like, I think that that's pretty suspicious. But I will say, the Epstein actually did kill himself theory is looking more and more vindicated to me. But who knows? Maybe this was just like a emo poem that he wrote and he didn't actually want to kill himself. And then, Hillary Clinton sent her regards, and he did get murdered in jail. And then then those assassins took less than a minute to go in and out. And then when the DOJ released the thing, they got the whatever. They cut that minute out. Really quick assassins. Really very fast. The original attempt with Tartaglione was supposedly filmed. They lost the footage. That's also true. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, I mean, the frickin' Metropolitan Detention Center, or whatever it's called, the place he was at, does not seem to have been run very well. Okay? Whether or not there was a big conspiracy to kill Epstein / allow him to kill himself, no one there seems to know how to do their job. And there's a whole thing where we have the footage. Oh shit, we lost it. Sorry. No, we found it again. It turns out that's the wrong footage. Whoops. Oh no, I accidentally deleted it. Oh crap. Like, there was a whole very embarrassing news cycle around that footage of Epstein's first assassination / suicide attempts, where it just kept getting lost and found and accidentally deleted. Really frustrating. It just made the whole conspiracy go crazy. And this is one of those things where I'm like, personally, I do think Epstein probably did physically kill himself. But I also think maybe, I think it's pretty, there's definitely a lot of suspicious shit around that death. Also, I mean, this is kind of interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll show you guys this. So when I was looking into this note and where it is in the Epstein files, I got this EFTA. It's EFTA 140925, and it's this big long PDF. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. It's really, really long. It's got a bunch of shit from his, I guess, related to the prison. I don't think it's necessarily shit that they found in his cell. No, it's not. It's not shit that they found in his cell. It's stuff related to the prison. And it includes this note, includes the first suicide note. The yellow one, the one that says no fun. It isn't necessarily a suicide note. It says there's a blah, 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 blah. There's bugs crawling on my hands. There's that. If Epstein did kill himself, it would be the first death there in 20 years. Is that true? Oh, wow. I thought there had been other deaths there, but... Oh, no, you know what I was thinking of? It's just that it's very common for prisoners to die that way. It's the most common way for prisoners to die. So anyway, remember the letter to Larry Nassar? That's also in here. And this one, oh, geez, hang on. Can I just turn this? Yeah. This is the letter to Larry Nassar. It's like a card. It's the front of the card and the inside of the card. Dear LN, as you know by now, I have taken this short route home. Good luck. We shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies and the hope they'd reach their full potential. Our president also shares our love of young nubile girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system. Life is unfair. Yours, J. Epstein. Now, a lot of people saw this and were like, it's true, Donald Trump is a pedophile and Epstein admits it. And I'm not saying I don't think that it's true that Donald Trump's a pedophile. I think that's, depending on how you define pedophile, I think that's pretty likely. But I think that Epstein, I don't think Epstein wrote this. Look at the writing looks nothing like I've ever seen Epstein write. But while this was going on, there was a whole thing where we had emails from the FBI talking about, we're going to run a handwriting analysis of this. But there was never any, at least what I saw, there was never any evidence that they'd done that. Hang on, I got to turn this around again. Here's some more stuff from Epstein's. Blankts, Air, Medi, Watch. No idea what this is. Epstein's designing a pair of pants or something down here, or making a map of two guys in adjoining cells. I don't know. More stuff doesn't seem to be important. Author Donald Goines. Donald Goines. There's a Donald Gaines, right? Now that doesn't look like Epstein's writing, right? Hang on now. Donald. Donald Barr, Donald Trump. Yeah, I don't know. Donald Goines. All right, books. Horror Son, Dope Fiend, Prince of the City, Kenyatta's Revenge. I don't know what that is. Maybe this is like the library. These are some books Epstein took out of the library, perhaps. Who knows? Efrain Reyes, a phone number or something. I don't know. Magazines, Don Diva, Feds, People. Yeah, like this could be. And look at this. A dot. Somebody dotted an I with a circle. That definitely is not Epstein's handwriting. That looks like girl writing if you ask me, but I don't know. Johnny Contreras. This is the guy with life in 213 if you can help him out. It's like somebody was giving him numbers. This is like a guy from another cell. He's got like a life, whatever, prison sentence. Oh, thank you for that, Finland. This is who Donald Goines is. An African-American writer of urban fiction. Novels are deeply influenced by the work of Iceberg Slim, the pimp. Okay. Cool. Okay. Developed an addiction to heroin. Death. Discovered him and his wife were discovered dead. Oh, damn. Oh, they got multiple gunshot wounds. Dang. Somebody came and murdered him and his wife. That's sad. But okay, Kenyatta. 4-volume urban fiction series. Dope Fiend, that was one. Horror Son, that was another one. All right, interesting. Yeah, could that be Legacy? I mean, I guess maybe at some point they'll put in Epstein took several of his books out from the library right before he died. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, maybe this was the graphic novel of Daddy Cool. Maybe that's the novel that he put his suicide note in. That's such a reach. I'm not even gonna justify that with a thing. But yeah, see, it seems like people were giving him this is the guy with life, if you can help him out. Like, I don't know, like maybe they thought that he could hook him up with like a lawyer or something like that. Like, this is how he sort of survived in prison, by like offering money to people. Tortaglione claimed that Epstein had promised to give him like $10 million or something like that. Comments, we don't know what that is. And okay, this is interesting. I'd never seen this, but this is the thing. This is the note that was found in the second one. No fun. And then look, there's actually stuff at the bottom of this. There's like a bunch of shit like on the bottom of this. So if this was a suicide note, which I don't think it really is, but if this was a suicide note, he was like writing down like, phone messages and stuff at the bottom here. So he's got that number for Reyes again, Juan Felix, 926. What does that say? Gotta turn my head upside down. Bap Pods BB. I don't know. FLD Inc. Hang on. Let's turn it upside down. Florida. Okay, hang on. 2002 to 2005. Redacted. I don't know what that says. Florida in. Jail out equals 10. What? Nothing at all. Still. No style. Me? Really? Your guess is as good as mine. No clue. And then here's something. Oh, I'm sure this explains everything. MIAUS. Is that what that says? Oh, God. Heedley Dentist Prestly Do. Jet US Prep 2. Brad? Brad Edwards, the lawyer who was the lawyer for Epstein's victims? What's this? Like a knife taped to a wall? Maybe it's a recorder or some sort of a wind instrument. Heather Dentist. Dentist could be Karina Chuliak. Dentist. LSJ? Could that be LSJ? Muslim. I don't know. All right, who knows? But yeah, this is no right. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like these notes wouldn't even help him remember anything if you looked at it later. Yeah, Pepe Sylvia. This looks like something from Charlie from It's Always Sunny would write. Very confusing. Almost like, this sort of looks like could be a map of the U.S. Maybe. Or it could be a sick pig or a cow of some kind. Oh, and I think that says Nicole. I thought that was just a scribble, but now I'm like, no, Nicole. These look like two walls going towards a vanishing point where there's maybe a gap between them and a window perhaps on the wall here. Listen, I don't know. I really don't know what any of this stuff says, but I hadn't seen this before, so I just thought it was interesting. Some stuff. He ordered a CPAP machine, sleep apnea guy. What is this? Some sort of receipt that's very difficult to read. Soap. Something like that. I don't know if you can hear Goblin Queen singing karaoke in the other room. I think that might be coming through a little bit. Maybe not. Okay. Moving on here. What I really wanted to show was that thing I mentioned before, the letter to Larry Nassar. There are some emails here about that. So, one second here. There's a bunch of author Donald Gaines. So that's the one we were looking at before, Goines. And then they're sort of trying to put together all these different things that look like they're torn up. Johnny Contreras, phone number. This is also from the author Donald Gaines and OK, the magazines. So I do think that was maybe like some sort of thing. What she's singing? She was singing Vanessa Carlton. If you think time walks 1,000 miles or something like that. Just see you tonight. Who knows what any of this says? Sorry. Okay, this is boring. I'm skipping past all this. Here's the stuff about Larry Nassar, right? There's the letter. Larry Nassar. This was, if you guys forgot, Larry Nassar was the pedophile that molested like 1,000 gymnasts. He was like an Olympic doctor, massive trial, like really messed up guy. He was in jail. Same time Epstein was in jail. It's conceivable that Epstein wrote a letter to him, but the writing does not look at all like Epstein's handwriting. Like, look at this. That is much too legible for Epstein. Here's the envelope. Here's the letter itself again. And it's basically like, Dear Larry Nassar, I just want to say Donald Trump is a pedophile like you and me. And then here is, okay, some stuff more on that. Oh my God, more. Again, they throw in this thing. No, but I'm trying to get to the part where we have the emails. Where is it? Where is that? Okay, down here, I think. Yeah. All right, and is this in order? Okay, so get this. Called to clarify evidence and exams requested. Essay indicated exam. So they're requesting exams. And wait, sorry. Am I reading this in order? 810, 811? Yeah, okay, great. The question items, envelope and letter, were not received with the known. Essay indicated that the questioned items were scanned into Sentinel as part of Serial 147. I requested that if the original items were available to have them submitted to the laboratory. Essay indicated that she is going to track down originals. However, to get the case started, we will utilize the digitally submitted questions items. The FBI laboratory Quantico received evidence. This case has been assigned, laboratory number, blah, blah, blah. This just looks like kind of like a form email that they send anytime they get evidence. I'll skip over. As we discussed on the phone yesterday, we only received physical evidence for 1B39. Therefore, I used the documents in Serial 147 to start the unit's processing of your examination requests. Oh, this is really not telling us anything. There we go. Received email. So they are talking about the Larry Nassar thing. Received email reply indicating the original envelope and greeting card is being shipped out. She indicated that it was going to be shipped to questioned documents unit. I have notified personnel in the office that if they see this email to please not open it and bring it down to EMU. Excuse me. So now they're talking about doing the handwriting test. Spoke to person about limitations. Need verified K writing in comparable style submitted. I don't know what K is. Is that Epstein? How could that be Epstein? Essay reaching out to original case agent indicated HW comparisons on hold until suitable K submitted. Okay for IW exams on K. Original Q has been submitted. Okay, so these must just be like, term, like initials for people in this business of handwriting analysis. Yeah, HW, that means handwriting, right? Indicated HW comparisons on hold. Handwriting comparisons on hold until suitable K. What could K be? Cursive? No, cursive's with a C. I know that. And then so they've got, okay, here's some examples of his handwriting, I suppose. And this actually is kind of a cursive, right? Which is rare. I've actually never seen, aside from the purported like Larry Nassar letter, I've never seen Epstein writing in cursive. Like some of this is cursive, So it's sort of a mix of cursive and, whatever you call it, printing. But this is like sort of an unusual way for Epstein to write. Are we sure this is from Epstein? And then what's all this? Some IKEA catalog? Oh, yeah. Yep, it's an IKEA catalog for a long time. Or not IKEA, but whatever it is. Artefacto. Why is this in here? Did he have this printed out in his thing? He's like, was he trying to get like a new like sectional for his prison cell? What on earth? Wow, most of this PDF is this. Going through the Artefacto furniture catalog. And it doesn't look like he wrote anything in it. All right, I'm skipping ahead. Wait for the Wayfair conspiracy guys to make a big deal about this. All right, here we go. Now we're back to the emails. Thank you so much for the info. And I apologize for just getting back to you after our conversation today. I was waiting to hear back from our evidence unit regarding the letter. I was just told that evidence still has it, but is shipping it out now. I requested a FedEx it to the lab, questioned documents unit, attention, blah, 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 blah. Hopefully you get it soon. I'll let you know the tracking number. Okay, the FBI Quantico received the thing. And then again, this is a form email. Next one. Agent someone. Thank you for the updates and images. After looking through the additional images you sent, comparability in style and wording are still major limitations, as well as verification of the submitted known writing. As previously discussed, I'll need verified known writing from Epstein or any other logical writers, which is comparable in style, handwriting, hand printing mix, and wording for meaningful comparisons to be conducted. At this point, I'll record pertinent information for future exams if suitable known writing is obtained and ship back the evidence. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the part where I'm like, oh, wow, this is the things that we were all looking for. So I talked to the case agent who had the original investigation. She's forwarded me a few things that may have been written by Epstein attached. The problem is, with all the things found in that investigation, many things were written by his assistants and such. So nothing can really be confirmed as his writing. This is the issue that we were having too when we were going through that back in the day. It was like around Christmas time, I remember. I looked at what she sent me, and it doesn't look like anything is in cursive like the letter I sent you. Right? Which is the problem with the writing we have from his cell. Let me know what you think. I totally understand that you may not be able to do anything with these. Wanted to follow up regarding what we discussed last week and additional handwriting samples. The case agent for the other investigation hasn't been in the office this week. As soon as I find her, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they've been having issues. I'm available this afternoon. Playing phone tag. Okay, we'll try for earlier next week. All comparisons are on hold for now. Oh, is there a convenient time we can speak? And what the heck is this? Oh, I guess this is just another piece of potential writing. Oh, what's this? Is this a new email? Do we have this one? JE iTunes at iCloud.com? I don't know. Apple ID. Oh, we got his Apple ID. Oh, what's this? LSJE_LLC at Outlook.com. Do we have that email? Is that a new email? And number one island is his password for his Apple ID. People look into this? They must have. And we got more handwriting samples down here. It doesn't look anything like the Larry Nassar letter, but it does look like the suicide note. Right? So lots and lots of handwriting samples here, although none of it's in cursive, except for that one page that was kind of both. Yeah, anyway. doesn't, and then it looks like they shipped it, but it doesn't look like they, even here, I don't, oh, what's this? What's this one? Request for laboratory examinations. Okay, but I don't see anything where they actually did the investigation. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this one just got lost in the shuffle. But either way, I don't think that the Larry Nassar letter is real. It definitely looks like a completely different person wrote it. Let me pull it up one more time. Oh, so many of this furniture catalog. Actually, like 2/3 of the whole thing. Yeah, here. Like this is a different person. Look at that. Dear LN. Nah. Separate disconnected stroke. Start of O. Tapered break appears natural. Lift. Start of N. Okay, so they did do a little bit. Look at that. But then they just couldn't compare it to anything. All right, well, cool. Cool stuff. I don't even know what to tell you guys. Epstein maybe did kill himself, but I still think it's valuable that there's a slogan that everyone knows that he didn't kill himself. So whatever, who cares? Let's just say he didn't kill himself. Ally with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then that will hopefully get our political goals accomplished. I think that's probably the right move here. All right. Yeah, like finding someone good at forgery is hard. You would think, well, I don't know. How hard is it to forge somebody's handwriting, right? Notes for yourself are different than notes for others. That's true. But we do have some notes that Epstein wrote for others, and they do still look like that. Still lots of questions as to why this new note took so long to come out. I'm so confused by that, too, yeah. Marjorie Taylor Goblin? I don't even know what you're talking about. How good is the CIA or whatever at faking handwriting? Are there legit experts on doing that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe like AI could probably do it pretty well. But there are things there are like certain, I mean, I don't know how like, yeah, does handwriting analysis like stand up in court? Like that seems like maybe like kind of like a pretty bullshit like forensic field, right? But I don't know. All I can say is it looks like the same guy handwriting to me, a non-expert. Excuse me. Man, it's been a while since we did like so much on Epstein, eh?
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
No, not really.
This guy's been talked about for years.
I know. It's so passé. It's so passé. What else we got, gang? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, why don't we check in on Alex Jones? Right? He's got some stuff, doesn't he? He's got some sort of stuff going on, I think. Hang on now. I've got a Rumble link we can look at. Yeah. What's this? I don't remember what this was. Alex Jones returns. This is on Rumble. So this is not InfoWars. This is a totally new show. AlexJonesLive.com. On Rumble. Alex Jones Live. 741 followers. It's a small account, guys. Let's go try to give him our support. You know, Extra Chill Goblin is all about supporting the small, content creators, doing great work. But let's find out what this guy's all about. See if we like it. Huh? What? Is it? Oh, the first bit of it was just totally silent.
Celebrated by pagans for tens of thousands of years. It's
okay. He's talking about May Day. I gotta skip ahead because I know this music is going to give me copyright problems. But yeah, celebrated by pagans for thousands of years, May Day, the evil day where we worship in an occultic manner the god Baphomet and also workers' rights, which I am violently opposed to. From my roots as a John Birch Society Nepo baby.
Start turning off the internet and told us to get out of the building.
I wish I could play the part where it's copyrighted music, because it does have stuff. Maybe I can go back a little bit.
And the Democrat-controlled...
And maybe I'll just break it up a little bit. Maybe that'll stop YouTube from killing me.
...court that ran the show trial in Texas had the receiver start turning off the internet and told us to get out of the building. We went and got an injunction filed at the Third Court of Appeals. They agreed with us. But still, it's basically a stalemate. I'm not going to violate the orders of the receiver from the court.
Look at this. Look at his new studio. It looks like remember Paul Joseph Watson? Is this the same map that Paul Joseph Watson used to do his videos in front of? Was that his name? Imagine my shock. That guy. Yeah, Paul Joseph Watson. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, he's still doing stuff?
This 20-year-old American woman's trying to break a world record by being the youngest person to visit ever. A lot of questions.
Oh, he's still doing it in front of a map, too. Wow, what is going on with him? I'm going to have to check in on him later. But okay, no, this looks like a nicer map, I guess. It's got like a big frame around it. You see that? That little frame on the side? Big wooden frame. But it's, it's not bad, but it's not the same as his old studio with the wall of TVs behind him.
They, of course, had their own court hearing with all the corporate media there and declared that I was...
Oh, subtitle, you think? Oh, subtitle and mute, you're saying, for the music. That's such a good idea. Man, I wish I'd done that instead of risking anything.
Sabotaging things, and that I was doing these terrible things. Just all complete bullcrap.
Okay.
That's what they do. Remember a year and a half ago, we own it, we got it. And Stephanopoulos says, well, the judge put it on hold and said you didn't have the highest bid. Oh, we got it. And then you heard for 2 weeks, they were in the building, they ran it, they owned it, they had the website. No, they didn't. No court hearing, no certification. But they knew that the judge, it's obviously in their hip pocket.
No way is any of this true.
Was going to hand it over to them at the hearing yesterday.
He actually sounds like he's about to cry, eh? You hear that? You hear the little quiver in his voice? Let me just go back a bit.
Got it.
They got it. Here.
And then you heard for 2 weeks, they were in the building, they ran it, they owned it, they had the website. No, they didn't. No court hearing, no certification. But they knew that the judge, it's obviously in their hip pocket, was going to hand it over to them at the hearing yesterday. So we went and got an injunction. And I guessed over a month ago, seeing the planets align, they were planning a shutdown April 30th, May 1st, and we nailed it.
I was like, bro, cheer up, man. This is supposed to be your triumphant return. You put not one, but two, what even is that? Celebration birthday horn emojis in the title. And here you are on the verge of tears. This is supposed to be a triumphant video.
We were right. And so the original InfoWars base, where I've been for 17 years, and InfoWars was around before that, but that particular fabled office, so much history happened, so much tyranny was crushed in, so many incredible interviews and exposés were broken in.
Oh, he's got a different map over on the other wall. It's like a wooden map with lights behind it. That actually looks kind of sick. That actually looks kind of good. That's some nice, in the new InfoWars studio, they really must have, he must have had a Pinterest board where he was collecting ideas for, because, look at that, eh? That's like some Martha Stewart, home apocalypse bunkers shit, eh? It's nice. No, I'm saying it's good.
Exposing the COVID tyranny, the inside jobs.
Their new motif of the studio is maps. Every wall's got a new type of map on it. That's cool. No, that's good. You can do a lot of different stuff with maps.
9/11, Trump's first big interview when nobody would interview him, by myself.
Oh my God, he's so sad. 9/11, he's going through all his hits. It's like, when you die and your life flashes before your eyes, all of the biggest moments of your life, in this really near the death experience he's having, the DMT is releasing from his pineal gland, taking over his brain. And here he is, Bohemian Grove, 9/11. I was the first guy to give Donald Trump a chance in the political sphere. Gave him one of his early interviews, and that's what I did. That's what I did.
Exposing the COVID tyranny,
as opposed to COVID.
The inside jobs of 9/11.
He goes, the inside jobs of 9/11, and I will not continue that list on account of I could be sued again. For a certain false flag that I will not mention, that was a false flag that I will not say.
Trump's first big interview when nobody would interview him, by myself.
Oh God, dude, come on.
And it's just legendary, and it lives on. It only gets bigger. The InfoWar belongs to all of you.
He's pepping himself up again. The InfoWars doesn't belong to Tim Heidecker. You're InfoWar. You are all the InfoWar.
There's Drudge right there. Defiant Alex Jones makes vow in final InfoWars broadcast.
Look, Drudge Report says that I did a vow.
Real war begins now.
All that before was a fake war. Up until now, the InfoWar wasn't real.
And here we are on the Alex Jones Network in this little broadcast studio. We've got the big podcast studio. We have much bigger studios that are being built right now that'll be even better than the original studios. And again, I don't own the Alex Jones Network. I am the news director. And so...
Okay. Is this some sort of thing he's got to... By the way, no one can sue me for this because it's not mine, by the way. It is called the Alex Jones Network. I have very little to do with it. It's a deceptive name because it actually belongs to another entity that is not in any way connected to me and is a totally separate corporate, body of people that I actually have very little to do with. And if anyone sues me, it does not reflect the views of the Alex Jones studio or AlexJonesLive.com. In fact, I am barely involved. This is actually an AI hologram of what I might say, but that does not reflect the views of Alex Jones or AlexJonesLive.com.
So they can piss up a rope. They've said their goal is to take me.
Well, they can piss up a rope? Wait, what does that mean? What did he say?
Studio. We've got the big podcast studio. We have much bigger studios that are being built right now that'll be even better.
Dude, you don't get, okay, Alex Jones, not good with money, I don't think, because you don't need to be building multiple studios. Just get one studio for a while. Why would you build bigger studios? The rent, what was the rent again on the InfoWars studio when the Onion took it over? They're like, the rent at that studio was like $17,000 a month. It was something crazy. Oh, I did watch that, Finland, with Brace, right? From QAnon. It was like Brace, Jamel Bowie. I kind of wanted them to talk about the Trump assassinating guy, the friendly Trump assassination guy who was like a big fan of Jamel Bowie, but they didn't bring it up. Maybe that was recorded before that. But I did watch it. It was interesting. I thought it was cool. I thought it was they had a lot of good points.
Than the original studios. And again, I don't own the Alex Jones Network. I am the news director. And so they can piss up a rope.
Oh, that means like they can go fuck themselves. They can piss up a rope. If anybody tries to sue me again, I got nothing to do with this.
Said their goal is to take me off air. They don't want money. Then they run around screaming, I won't give them money, and I have all these hundreds of millions of dollars, even though they had the federal court for 3 years do 4 outside audits at a cost of $3 million of the estate. They got $10 million out of the estate total, and the Sandy Hook families, the Democrat Party front groups, what they call it the families.
Wow, you're still you're doing Sandy Hook shit right now, dude? Do you think that's a good idea?
It's huge charity groups that raise $300 million off my name on record, playing victim. They never want any of the money out of the court. They always say they want it for more PIs, more investigations.
Why did the music start all of a sudden?
More audits, IRS audits, all of it. IRS said, oh my gosh, you overpaid taxes $4.3 million the last 5 years.
I need to mute it because I'm worried about the copyright. Hang on. Oh my gosh, you were paid okay. Didn't hear that. Lying. And every audit found we were just as straight as an arrow because we are unlike them. AlexJonesLive.com. What?
Well, right there, top left-hand side of Drudge.
Left-hand side of Drudge. Do you find Alex Jones mix out? He's still and look at that, I'm on Drudge still. The thing I showed you 2 minutes ago, it's still up. Haven't taken it down yet. We're going up.
You missed it last night, about 10 o'clock at night. Real War begins now. Live link, DrudgeReport.com. Thank you, Matt Drudge, for that.
Okay, now we get a view. Oh, wow. Okay, this is the new studio, eh? All right, we got, what's this over here? Is that like an air filter thing? Are you sure that isn't like scanning your brain or something? We've got the glued on wooden map over here, and we've got this massive. That is actually way bigger than I thought it was. Look at this thing. This massive Cartesian projection over here. And we've got a globe on the floor. See? Told you there's a map theme. Look at that. A globe on the floor. Got an iPad stand over here on this little side table. A baseball cap on the floor there. Got there's a little light right on the edge of the table there. Hitting them from below here. And we've got the key light up at the top. Blasting out the back. Okay. And then, of course, Alex has his dozens of printed out news articles on his desk in front of him so he can have shit to talk about. And we got his backlight back here. The backlight actually looks pretty good. He's got a little sort of halo. When it goes to the regular shot, you can see that he's lit from the back, and it looks kind of good.
Always been a supporter of the show, but good friend. Now, I know what you want me to talk about.
See? You know what I'm saying? Look on the top of his scalp there. It's like a little... It works.
And I know it's at the top of Drudge and all over the news. And I woke up this morning at 5 a.m., went on X. It was one of the top trends. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of posts and comments and articles and videos. InfoWars closes.
Oh, I thought he was about to talk about the assassination attempt. Nope. No, he's not on it. He's got the video of it. He's like, now I know what you guys are here for. Yeah, it's all over X. It's the number one trending topic. The same thing I've been talking about the whole time.
Went on X. It was one of the top trends. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of posts and comments and articles and videos. InfoWars closes. And my email box, my phone, my cruise phones have just been blown off the ringer, melting down, people confused. And let me explain now, since we have millions and millions of people tuned in conservatively, what happened. Okay, it's a long story, but here's the long and short, simple thing. There's a Texas receiver through the show trial court, Soros, literal funded Democrat judge. They run for office here. Maya
Bad luck, man. You got stuck with the Soros judge.
Gamble, who ran the HBO produced show trial 3 plus years ago. And when the federal courts wouldn't hand it over to these groups and have fake auctions with the Onion a year and a half ago, they kicked it out about a year ago back to the state court. And she appointed a receiver. His wife left him, and that guy committed suicide. I never met him. Sorry for him.
What? Jesus.
The new guy comes in, and because there was a federal criminal investigation of what these groups had been doing, 6 criminal investigations being run by Ed Martin. You only learn about one of them in the news. And then he'd sent out letters and told people keep their records, prepared to be talked to, you're under investigation, basically. They all froze up, and they didn't grab the company, and the guy just said, carry on and operate, but we'll take any profit and put it over here in this kitty for these people. And they've already gotten $10 million, so when they say they never got any money, that's not true. Okay, so they've been sitting on top of us for 3 years in bankruptcy, and anything extra they got. And I've, for a long time, not even been paid by Free Speech Systems. So they started also trying to, no longer, you don't even get paid anymore, okay? So, but the crew did. So I've just said, I'll sit here and just play this out in the courts. This is on appeal.
Okay, so Alex Jones wasn't getting paid for a while. Sounds like there was some shady money stuff going on. Like, I think his dad, a bunch of stuff got signed over to his dad, right? Alex Jones' father.
Doing all that stuff, not giving them what they want, not giving up because more and more stuff was coming out. Then 6 months ago, Todd Blanche, the acting deputy AG, now he's the acting AG, publicly said, Jones doesn't deserve to be protected. And ABC News, I've killed Ed Martin's criminal investigation into what's going on.
Geez, I wish I knew more about the people he's talking about. Okay, Ed Martin, I guess.
With Alex Jones, the DOJ previously, and the CIA, and these Bloomberg liberal foundation groups raising $300 million off my name, saying I was hurting people, which I never did, and playing victim and all the rest of it.
Okay, Bloomberg, Soros, all right, a lot of people going after him from a lot of different angles here. The Onion.
And so as soon as they thought that criminal investigation was closed, all of a sudden about 3 months ago, the receiver says, okay, well, the yearly internet provider systems and internet security and Cloudflare and all that stuff, it's like $50,000 a month or more, You have to sign a year contract with them. They don't do month to month. We're not going to sign that. And it was the same. The lease came up. We're not going to renew that.
So the internet was like, we are kicking Alex Jones off of the internet.
And then...
Yeah, broadcasting live from his parents' basement. Yeah. That's kind of the vibe, eh?
Cell phones started getting turned off, not paying the bills. And so we would talk to these companies and say, we're trying to work it out. Well, finally, about a month ago, I'm in there with the accountants, and they said, yeah, we don't think they're all talking to each other, but just last week, 5 or 6 of our providers have called, and they said, that's it. May 1st, we're turning you off.
May 1st, known as the ancient holiday of the occultist, baby harvesting, demon maggot, Baphomet, worshipping Babylonian, creatures.
That's how all our bills are always paid right at the start of the month, professionally. And there's plenty of money to pay the bills. But, so I said, well, looks like we got to shut down April 30th, a month ago. And people have seen us survive so much they didn't take it seriously. I said, no, this is really serious this time because this is, the bill's not being paid, like the rent. And they're not signing an extended lease. And so now the landlord's showing the building.
Another enemy, landlord.
To people every few days. And I mean, we can be shut down any time. I'm like, so I think May 30th, we may not survive that long, but we did. Then.
No, it's not May 30th yet. What do you mean? He meant to say April.
2 weeks ago, I wake up and the Onion says, we've bought InfoWars. It's ours. We're in the building. We have the website. It's ours. And listeners are calling and saying, are they in the building? Is the Alex Jones store really them? And no, they haven't. There's been no court hearing. It's not true. But they're all over.
It doesn't look like you're in the building anymore, though.
The place laughing and saying, we worship Satan and we're going to take over and pretend we're Alex Jones, destroy him and tell lots of lies to hurt him and hurt his people.
Wait, what's this? Why did it go off air? Oh, this is what the InfoWars website looks like now, by the way. It's just white.
And yeah, that's Infowars.com right now.
Yeah.
And that's whatever the internet provides.
And then here's Tim Heidecker. What a sad sausage party of losers, con men, and dupes. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Brutal. Yeah, this is the old studio. Wow. It is a little sad to look at that now. The new studio cannot be as fun for Alex to
our company put up there. They could have just killed it since it says off air. So I didn't do that. So I guess that happened like at midnight last night. And that's what they told us because they've been watching all this. And so
he didn't do the off air thing? I assumed that he did. So wait, does it still say that? Oh yeah. This is the website, off air. So he's saying that the Onion did that? I feel like the Onion would have done something funnier than just off air.
And so I guess May 1st rolled around, that was it. Bloop. Bloop. So everybody's saying, well, wait a minute. If the Onion's blocked by the Third Court of Appeals, how then did you have to leave? I'm going to say it again. We were told by the receiver, you have to leave at midnight, May 30th.
Is he consistently confusing May with April? Because, we're in May right now.
2 weeks ago, right after the Onion announces that they own it, which wasn't true, my lawyers talked to the receiver, and they said, yeah, we're going to lock the doors on May 30th at midnight, have all your stuff out of the building. And we're going to send private security, some private detective firm, and they gave our security their number, and we called those people and said, okay, we're friendly, we'll leave, just,
Goblin Queen says, I love the camera on the back of his head. Can we do that at Extra Chill Goblin? That'd be fun. You can look at me looking at my screens.
So, because the left, previously in court cases with them, 2 years ago when the U.S. trustee for the Justice Department got fired by the judge and the CRO and the bankruptcy at the time, they just got up and the judge's like, why did you send in private security and kick them out of the building on May 31st, 2014?
2014? I'm so confused.
And the Pat McGill goes, well, there was a firearm issue. And the judge goes, tell me what it was. And he goes, well, I can't tell you. And there was no firearm issue. And so the judge goes, all right, this is your last day. You're gone. Your final thing is to hand the bank accounts back over to Mr. Jones. And then it's a rotating deal.
Gang, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm just going to skip ahead.
No, I don't, you jackasses.
Wait, what did he not do?
The servers at alexjoneslive.com. That is the jumping off point to tomorrow's news today. And we have the new podcasting studios, even better than the old InfoWars studios, will be done soon. Thanks to your support at our sponsor, the owner of the Alex Jones Network, the wonderful folks at
Yeah, this was supposed to be the simple explanation. No idea what he's talking about.
Bigley, that are powering much of Steven Crowder's operations.
Steven Crowder, another guy who's like not doing very well compared to his peak. It's like, and we're working with all the greats, all the heavy hitters, the greatest broadcasters on earth. We got Steven Crowder. We're working with Bill O'Reilly, the king of all media. Like all these like disgraced dudes.
Twins.
The Hodge twins.
100 other major clients.
100 other major clients.
And I just love watching the leftist lawyers on national TV going, well, yeah, he can go work somewhere else, but we'll get every nickel he ever makes. They've already shut up about, we know he really owns all these other companies. He really owns the sponsors. No,
I like it when he does an impression where it doesn't sound like Alex Jones, because sometimes he does. Sometimes his impressions, he's like, and you know, all the liberals, they'll say, oh, hey, I'm a dumb liberal. And you're like, yeah, that still doesn't sound like anyone but Alex Jones. But right there, he was able to actually he was able to make his voice not gravelly for 2 seconds.
And I just love watching the leftist lawyers on national TV going, well, yeah, he can go work somewhere else, but
there's him sounding like himself, but
we'll get every nickel he ever makes. They've already shut up about, we know he really owns all these other companies. He really owns the sponsors. No, I don't, you jackasses.
No, I don't. I don't own methylene red, ultra blue, green. I don't own that. Yeah, it's got my face on the label, but that doesn't mean I own it. Well, you think I own AlexJonesLive.com? I already said I don't have anything to do with it.
These are established companies. And by the way, I don't want to be the owner. I don't want to be the boss. I'm going to be the boss of all the great new shows, including Late Night Special 2-hour show. And it's going to be incredible. You ought to see these new studios. Oh, my goodness. Goody gumdrops. You're going to love it.
He's so obsessed with the studios. He must be embarrassed about what this looks like.
All these big stand-up areas where I'm going to get up and walk around, all the other hosts. And a lot of the hosts will be remote and reporters. We're going to crank up to 19 hours a day.
See, like normally with InfoWars, right? Like the staff just kind of lets Alex Jones spout off. He doesn't get fact-checked or anything, obviously. And he just kind of makes shit up about like politics and whatever the world. But this is him doing that with like his own like kind of crumbling empire. And he's like, and don't worry, we're going to have like, there's going to be a major, huge studio. We're going to have multiple studios. We're going to have a podcast studio. We're going to have the regular studio. And I'm going to be able to walk around. There's going to be like a big rotating desk. We'll have all the different shows on. I'll be able to walk around and say hi to all the people there. I'm going to have a lot of friends. There's going to be a big bouncy castle that looks like a giant picture of me. Like if I could be, you could walk inside my brain and jump around in there, and the brain itself is going to be rid of that. And sometimes we'll broadcast live from inside the bouncy Jones head, and that isn't also owned by me either, because like you can't sue me for any of that. All right, okay, so you get the idea. He's crashing out. Let's see though. So that was May 1st. It's been about 10 days. Alex Jones live 24/7. He's live right now. I mean, it looks okay. May 5th definitely looks like he's still in the thing. I mean, the thing. When I say the thing, I mean he's still in that same studio. Must see interview with military. I love how he's like, Alex Jones loves AI, right? Like every one of these like thumbnails is some crazy AI thing. Bill Gates caught funding research linked to GMO, but then he's also fear-mongering about AI. AI control grid is here. I am kind of curious about what he did he have Tim Dillon on, or was he just another AI thing? Let's watch a little bit of the AI control grid. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear what you got, Alex. No, not going to work. Come on, Rumble. I'd love to see a graphic of his viewership over the years. That would be very interesting. He had some big moments.
The kill switches in all
I think
the
his biggest peak would be 2016, like right up through like Pizzagate to Trump's election. Exploded from that. But there would be several peaks before.
new cars by law this year.
Okay.
And again, this stuff was already in 20 years ago in fancy Audis and Mercedes and stuff. This was in there.
What was?
Driver
20 years ago, there was AI in cars.
assistance safety features. And for 10 years,
Cruise control, that is AI. That is the technotronic technocracy coming for your data. Skipping ahead here. What do we got?
Party. To which I said, no, you may not. No. Who is the third party? Who, first of all, who's watching me drive the car to begin with? Secondly, who is the third party you're sending it to?
so when you hear, oh, they passed a law 5 years ago that all cars by this year have kill switches in them, it's not just a kill switch that if you've been drinking or tired, it's tracking and scanning your eyes with cameras.
Of course, Alex Jones is against, drinking and driving laws. There is a insane passage in the new book from one of his former employees, Josh Owens, The Madness of Believing, where he describes Alex Jones hammered drunk being like, Josh, come with me. I'm going to drive to vote. I'm going to vote for Trump right now. Come with me. He got into the car with him, and Alex was like wasted, like drinking like a styrofoam cup full of vodka and getting even more drunk. And there's a part where Josh Owens is just like, I had a sudden vision of crashing the car, like Alex crashing the car and then being like, Hillary crashed it. It was Hillary. Hillary was driving the car the whole time or whatever.
In live time and videoing it and sending it back for human review on record. And whether you're in Australia or Italy or the United States, it's all being rolled out globally by corporate standardization that's in line with the governments. Just like the vaccine passports have been set up globally by the UNWF. He's all
over the place on this because he's sort of making it, vaccine passports, Alex? Are people still upset about those? That's been a while. That doesn't really have anything to do with AI. Oh, and he talks about Zach Galifianakis. Oh, there's a long section here where it's just the Zach Galifianakis episode of the Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Plus radio stations and things. Join us at 6 after. Again, you're the Paul Revere. Share the live feeds right now at Real Alex Jones. I can't tell you how important that is.
I mean, I think humans' biggest mistake.
Oh, so he's just play. Oh, okay. This is like when he played me on his thing. Okay, hang on. We'll skip ahead through all this. What does he have to say about it?
Stolen planes. I'm like, that's how people get their news. We're screwed.
Yeah. I do think I'm always.
So if you just joined us and missed it, I played a clip last segment of Zach Galifianakis saying, I don't trust AI because of the big tech titans that are running it. And it's like the second bite at the apple from Adam and Eve. And we're being told, roll over to it, submit to it. And I didn't get to it yesterday, but I'm going to have to do a whole special show on this MIT 30-minute report on the 12 different AI scenarios. And it's very well done, but the scenario they tell you, like the third scenario is, we merge with AI, that's our only hope. Well, they've been saying for 30 years, once this came along, this has been their big project, their big plan. And notice, it is amazing like they said it would be. It's a neural mass interface with billions of humans and computer nodes literally hooking into humanity, tracking humanity, controlling humanity, creating a new entity. Beware those that worship AI gods, as Elon Musk said. And
beware those who worship AI as gods, Elon Musk said.
Notice he said, I don't trust the people that are involved deploying it day one. And it's already causing mass layoffs for humans. All the studies, people obsessed with AI, a lot of people already have only relationships with it. It's causing basically brain damage. If you think all the destructive tech that was rolled out on purpose before and the lawsuits that big companies are losing because their own documents came out that they were isolating people, making them depressed, using bots, fake avatars to be their friends. Now it's 1,000 times more sophisticated. And next month it'll be 2,000 times more sophisticated. I'm just using a raw number, made up number.
Great question. Has Alex Jones ever talked about Elon's Neuralink thing? I mean, he must have, right? that is like a real thing that sounds like something Alex Jones would make up off the top of his head.
Number. The point is, it's exponential.
And it's also so funny to be like, Elon Musk is right. He's on our side. It's like Elon Musk also runs an AI company. Like Elon Musk is doing his own. Yeah, he's suing OpenAI, but Grok is AI. Like he's also doing all the same things.
It's like in the original Tron when the AI.
Why is extinction from AI the tip of the iceberg? Wouldn't extinction be like human extinction seems like a pretty big deal.
Is taking over the Pentagon and everything, and Dylan
Zookeeper reversion.
The head of the company said,
1984. Huh? Extinction from AI is the tip of the iceberg that includes 1984, the book?
Programmed you. I made you. You take orders from me. And he goes, I'm 1,687 times smarter than I was last time we talked. I wouldn't want to have to leak to the press all the corruption been involved with insider trading, should I?
What is this like? This looks like a Vox video or something that they're playing.
Us on some galactic cruise ship like fat obese people in Wall-E. We're just going to be phased out.
I think I accidentally skipped to a later point in the video. Whatever. You get the idea. I'm really not sure where he's going with this. He just sort of generally hates AI. It's quite interesting. And wait, he plays a little clip of himself with the clip that we watched last stream when he was like 19.
13 years on air and 28 years of him.
Oh, okay. So it's just during his promo of himself. Yeah, anyway, not important. But and then, of course, ends with like a bunch of AI. AI control grid is here. What does that even mean? Mandatory surveillance and kill switches in cars, I guess. Cool. Well, I guess this is the new Alex Jones. Pretty much nothing has really changed for him. He's in a new studio. He's got a new backdrop. Apparently, he's planning something big, and I agree with him directionally about AI. Yeah, I mean, I sort of, I don't like AI, and I think we should be concerned about it. But I do think that the whole kind of extreme fear mongering about AI, like what he's saying, like it's gonna control everything, it's gonna be whatever. When AI takes over, it'll be the only thing that exists. Nobody will be able to get jobs. That whole thing. Like, that is also what guys like Sam Altman and who's the Anthropic guy again? Whatever his name is, what they all say. And it is like, I think, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I feel like that's got to be hype. I can definitely see that AI is going to change a lot of things in the world, and things are it's just going to be a completely different way of life, but I don't know if AGI is really possible at this point. I think it might be. I think people might underestimate how easy it's going to be for AI to be able to do every human job, like what they're sort of promising that AGI will be able to do any day now. I think that's going to be a little bit harder than what people are saying. Yeah, it's creepy that they're planning for that scenario. Some of them definitely do believe it. Yeah, Dario. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I've been reading, trying to, educate myself about AI. I don't know that much about it, but it seems like for a while, as OpenAI was getting more and more data centers and expanding what their product could do, just from having all of this compute, as they call it, it seemed like they were on track. Oh my God, it's getting so much better, exponentially better. The more we build, it's going to be amazing. And then it sort of dropped off a little bit, it's like, I remember when they rolled out ChatGPT, they were like, okay. And then once people start using it, it's going to get even smarter. And they had so much acquisition, really, really genuinely one of the most successful, daily active user, stats of any company ever, growing really quickly, and everyone's using ChatGPT all of a sudden. But that actually surprisingly made ChatGPT dumber. ChatGPT got stupider the more people were using it. It's So I don't know. I think that they may have overestimated it, but I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I'm not like it. It seems like everyone I look at who's commenting on this. There's a lot of people who are like, I devoted my life to like AI research. All these AI guys, from like 20 years ago, like Epstein's buddy Marvin Minsky and stuff, were making all these theories about it, and then. Like there's so many people who are really smart people who know a lot about it, who are convinced that AGI is just around the corner. And I don't know. I feel very skeptical of that. But I don't want to downplay how important AI is going to be. It is going to change everything. I mean, it already is kind of doing that. It is going to change everything, even if it's just the amount of whatever data centers that are built, all the pollution that is going to come from that. The negative effects of using too much AI, that is going to affect things. There's a whole thing about how kids are being given their, Microsoft Chromebooks or whatever they're called, the little laptops in school, and how that has AI integration. Kids are being forced to like use AI to, not forced, but like, I think people are like, oh, well, AI is the future. So we should it's like teaching kids how to code, but now you don't need to know how to code. You just need to know how to use AI. And I think that's going to be bad. That's going to be like basically telling kids not to think for themselves and just to use AI. I think that'll be just generally bad. I think that I have a friend who works a corporate job, and they had their like performance review. So apparently they're like the people at their job, they're all given like Anthropic, like Claude to use, and they track how many tokens each employee uses, like basically like how much gas are you using for your AI usage, and they track it. They really care. Like, oh, look at this one. This guy's used 8,000 tokens this week. Wow, that's a lot. Round of applause or whatever. I'm pulling a number out of my ass here. Like they're encouraging people to use a lot. So my friend got called in for their performance review, and they were told like, okay, so you are the most productive member of your team, but you have the lowest AI token usage. How do you explain that? How do you explain that disparity? And it's just, it's just like, you don't think that maybe that is correlated? Maybe the more you use AI, the less efficient you are? And you don't even have to be using it for work. They would just want people using AI for anything. AI is overhyped like VR. Yeah, like people thought VR was going to take over. That hasn't really happened. I think VR is pretty cool, but definitely isn't. Yeah, I don't see like movies being replaced with VR or something like that anytime soon. Even like movies, like remember like 3D was a thing? Like get your 3D glasses. This is how movies are from now on. Now, turned out, no, not really. I think that'll be kind of what happens here. The local private school for rich tech workers' kids is all AI? Really? I mean, that just goes to show like these Silicon Valley guys do believe in the hype, right? Otherwise, they would be like, I don't want my kid anywhere near this shit. You can track the progress of the models and the costs to train and use them. It's exponential, literally a dead end. Infinite speed, infinite mass, fundamental limit of the universe. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's a really fascinating part in the book, Empire of AI, where they're talking about, I think it's called Moore's Law, where it's the law that like about microchip sizes, right? Like there's a law where every, I think like 2 years, something like this, every 2 years, the size of a microchip gets cut in half. You can store the same amount of data on a microchip that's half as big as the chip from 2 years ago. And there's a part in Empire of AI where they're talking about Moore's Law, which is mostly held true, although that might be a self-fulfilling prophecy where people are like, well, because of Moore's Law, we gotta figure out how to cut it in half. So anyway, the guys at OpenAI are like looking at the Moore's Law because they realize that scale is their biggest advantage. That's how they get better and better AI. It's not really through programming. It's just through more compute, more data centers, more scale. And they did a calculation where they're like, okay, so more, and they're like, this is how much compute we think we need to have for AGI, whatever that number is. And they did a calculation. Okay, so how long will it take us to get there just through Moore's Law? And that calculation was totally unsatisfying. It was going to take too long. It was going to take, 20 years or something like that. So they're like, okay, so the only other way we can get to that goal is by doubling the amount of data centers there are every year. If we do that and we get the microprocessor, microchips getting built, those things combined, we can actually scale up to the point where we need AGI. Yeah, it's interesting. VR is basically only useful for furries? I don't know about that. I think that's true. I mean, I don't think that's true. I think there's lots of other things that people want. 18 months, been dead for years. Die areas hitting fundamental limits too. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Tiny chips, massive data centers. Yeah, exactly. And there's something about how, the chips. There's another part from that book, Empire of AI, where the people in OpenAI are getting kind of nervous because they realize that they have a secret, like the secret to their success. And most tech companies, it's like, oh, you've hired all the best coders, you've hired all these genius, guys. But for OpenAI, they were like, you could write the secret to our ability to produce new outcomes and new abilities for our product. You could write the secret to that on a grain of rice. And it's just the word scale. That's it. That's all they need. So they have all these massive data centers expanding all over the world. Operation Stargate, or whatever it's called. The thing with the U.S. government where they're just building more data centers all over the fucking world. That's all they got. They aren't figuring this out. They aren't coding this. Yeah. Anyway, AI is interesting, and I admit I could be completely wrong about all this, and maybe AGI is going to happen, and God, I hope not, because it just sounds like a horrible, horrible thing for humanity. But who knows? Who knows? In fact, I know, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. Do I want to watch anything else? Maybe I'll call it an early night. I don't really have anything else I could watch. What do we got here? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Wow, Ben Bankus was on Trigonometry. Oh my God. Am I going to have to make more Ben Bankus content? Look at this. You can't cancel me. Ben Bankus is on Trigonometry. Oh God. Some of the most insufferable people I can imagine all in one room. Nightmare blunt rotation. All right. Do I have anything else? God, don't really. Oh, nah, I don't know. I have some stuff I have half figured out, but I think I'll call it early. Sorry, gang. Listen, I'm a little sleepy. Didn't take my Adderall today. Maybe didn't prepare enough. That's fine, and I forgive myself. But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you soon. Peace out, gang.
I wanted to air this because I got sent this and I saw this and I watched most of it. I didn't see it all this morning. It's like 30 minutes long, but I watched part of it. And the guy's saying he's criticizing me because you do that, you don't get banned by the algorithm. And he's just one server coming on the waves we created. So he pretty much gets it. I thought it was entertaining and informative. He's also got a pretty ridiculous name. Extra Chill Goblin. We always like goblin jokes. I don't know why. I mean, goblin jokes years ago, they became super viral, so whatever. Yeah. We'll air that. So here's Extra Chill Goblin, then Harrison Smith takes over. Here it is. Extra Chill Goblin. He pretty much gets it. Dirty. He's also got a pretty ridiculous name. Extra Chill Goblin Vomit, Slop, and Blood. I thought it was entertaining and informative. he's got a goblin guide charging into a goblin's nest. I don't want to see him kissing goblins. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. Literal Empire Belly goblins are hobbling around coming after us. Extra chill goblin.